Yeah, that's
What are you guys doing on
haul.
there?
Getting the word out in the VC.
Yeah, Grant, you have to come on. I mean, look, I don't have tons of viewers. I've got,
Armando's having an issue. Hold on. It would be great if everything would just work.
Steven, I figured out why you're familiar to me. Before we did our interview, Grant and I did our interview with Vanessa from Pylon. I watched your interview with Vanessa.
Oh, okay, yeah. Me and
so
Ronnie.
when you showed up on Grant's show, I was like, I've seen that guy before.
That's right, because Steven showed up when I was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And you were thinking, where did I see him before?
Yeah. And that was where.
Yeah, that was she's great though.
She sure is.
Yeah.
We love it.
Yeah, and but I was gonna say, Grant, anytime I have like a subject, I mean all of my CD Junkie videos are pre-taped, and as is the interviews and everything. But anytime, like you had commented about the Elvis Brothers today.
Yeah.
And I just posted a bongos one as well. But anytime, I think of bands, I'll throw them at you. And if you just want to do a dual one via Zoom, then I edit it and then put it up.
Well, over here, I love to go live because I don't screw up as much when I go live. If I have to pre-record it, it's a mess.
Yeah. I pre-record.
Well, it's not a mess, but I have to do various takes. Yeah,
I edit everything. So like when I do interviews with, such as Todd was mentioning with Vanessa, or if me and Ronnie Barnett do a show, or me and my brother, then I go ahead and I will spend 8 hours editing that interview and, cutting out all the ums and ahs and all that stuff. So
there's Rand. There's Prog Rand.
Merry
Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Armando,
Merry Christmas.
Welcome.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
I like your Santa outfit, Grant. That's nice.
Thank you. Well, someone's got to do it.
You should call
I got props from Schnee there about going over, just going beyond.
That might actually be Santa. Why are you calling him Grant?
How about Granta?
Granta.
Greta Van Fleet.
Wait a minute. Speaking of that,
Greta
Van Fleet.
Oh, you got the new one, huh?
And I was in Reno with my family there the past week, which was incredible. And I'm going to do a show with my, with Grant's son's girlfriend, and she's like 20. We're going to do a Greta Van Fleet show. So I have to study up. I'm trying to get that younger generation interested.
Have you heard them
Ricardo
before?
gave that album a great review when it came
I've
out.
heard some of the tracks from it.
So we were supposed to go see them live the night before we saw Iron Maiden here, and he apparently blew out his eardrum. Josh, who's the singer? It's not Josh. It's brother, one of the brothers, the singer. But I find it hard to believe that you blow out an eardrum, but are able to play a week later and resume the tour. So
I would think he'd be in pain. But
now they rescheduled it till March.
He blew out an eardrum?
What's that?
He blew out an eardrum.
That's what they said.
That's major pain, man. How the hell can that be repaired in a week?
Exactly. Yeah. I'm thinking there's another issue there. Whether it's ticket sales or internal strife, I don't know.
Yeah.
Ticket sales is usually the.
They're coming back. They're rescheduled it for March. I got my refund because I've seen them twice already. They can play.
Well, believe it or not, on the FM rock station here, they do play this, which I'm surprised. They're probably trying to get that younger demographic, but I don't know. It's not bad at all. I'm surprised.
I don't think they get any airplay here in Redding, California. I've never heard them on our radio.
They get played a lot in sporting events. You hear them like during hockey games, basketball games.
I think people are against the Zeppelin connection. The comparison to Zeppelin, people don't like the Zeppelin comparison.
The first album, they stole a lot of Zeppelin riffs.
Actually, it's the band that doesn't like the Zeppelin comparison.
Because they ripped off their They ripped off their riffs.
Wow.
But the second album has kind of a early Rush feel to it too.
But I mean, if you're gonna own it, own it. I mean,
yeah,
they're not as
Zeppelin,
obvious as. I'm sorry. They're not as obvious as Kingdom Come. I saw them live, and there was a people on the ground at Day on the Green or Monsters of Rock or whatever it was, and they put up a big sign in front of them called Kingdom Clone. While they were playing.
Yeah.
While they were playing.
Grant, you want to hear my Billy Squier story?
There he is. Hey, Rich. Welcome aboard.
Hey, how you doing?
Nice to have you.
Nice to be here.
It is. So, what was your story?
All right, so Billy Squier.
Okay, yeah.
And
because he missed the Billy Squier show.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, we go see Alice Cooper at Chicago Fest. This was on his Special Forces tours, I don't know, 1980 or 81. And this guy named Billy Squier opens up, and he got destroyed. They threw everything at him. I don't know how I had a chicken, like a chicken wing that stuck in my hair. They were throwing everything at him, and he had to leave. And then his guitarist did like Eruption to try to settle the crowd down. Didn't work. This was his first album, Tail of the Tape.
Mm-hmm.
And then a year later, he's the biggest act in the world. But years later, I'm running the Bruce Kulick, and I said, you pretty much stopped the riot with your guitar solo when I saw you live. And he goes, I didn't tour with Billy Squier. I was just on the album. So I have no idea who his guitarist was.
Wasn't it that Jeff
Golub, probably.
Golub, probably,
right.
then?
He looked like Bruce Kulick. He had dark hair.
Oh, well, must be a different guy.
He had blonde hair, didn't he? Golub?
Yeah, I know. It was ruthless, though. But then a year later, and then I saw him live so many times because he opened up for everybody, from Queen to Foreigner. Then I saw him headline a few times.
Well, he sounds a lot like Robert Plant, but the music he does doesn't sound anything like Led Zeppelin. To me, anyway.
For who?
Billy Squier. He sounds a lot like
Billy
Robert
doesn't
Plant.
sound like Led Zeppelin.
He doesn't sound like Led Zeppelin.
I think he sounds like Robert Plant. I just said the band doesn't sound like Led Zeppelin.
Well,
speaking of like metal guitarists, does anybody know the Greg Kihn Band? Are you all familiar with Greg
Yeah,
Kihn?
I got a couple of their albums.
Yeah, I saw him live on his last tour. EMI. I mean, when I say last tour, it was like '86 or something like that. When he was popular. Yeah, and guess who was playing guitar for him on that final album and live was
Joe Satriani.
Yeah.
Joe Satriani played for Greg Kihn.
One album.
Yeah. So yeah, on that one album and the tour. So they're out there doing Greg Kihn songs, and Satriani is, that he's an incredible guitar player.
He's a machine.
But he's like way beyond the Greg Kihn Band. Greg Kihn Band is great. I love Greg Kihn Band, so I'm not putting Greg Kihn down. But what Satriani's playing is, it sounds like you guys saw the movie Robin Hood with Kevin Costner, and how Alan Rickman seemed like he was in a completely different movie than the rest of the cast.
I know what you're getting at.
It seemed like Satriani was like playing in a different band than the rest of the guys on stage. But he was fabulous, and they were fabulous.
But Satriani appreciates the pop sensibility. He doesn't want to shred like that Chicken Foot. He loved doing the Chicken Foot.
Yeah,
and it was toned down. He's not all shred. He likes being the straight ahead rock and roll.
Well,
I love Dreaming the New Level.
Satriani and Greg Kihn doesn't sound like it would mix.
If you listen to the Love and Rock and Roll album, it kind of doesn't, but it's still great though.
Yeah, but think about the guitar playing ability of Joe Satriani. He probably could play for any situation and just kind of mold to the. Yeah. But I haven't heard it. But I would think he would be able to do that.
Have you ever heard what he did in Deep Purple, over in Japan, when he had to take over Richie Blackmore's place?
I have not.
That is.
No, I haven't. I heard he was a little intimidated about it.
For a guy that didn't even, never been on a recording or anything. Oh my God, he kills. It's just like I've seen that guy live, Joe Satriani, with that Experience Hendrix tour over in Reno. He was just mind blowing, phenomenal.
John Five's another guy that could just step into any role and play whatever he wants. I don't know. Have you ever seen the video of him playing the Hello Kitty guitar?
You mean Steve?
He picks up you can look it up on YouTube. He picks up a little Hello Kitty guitar, $5 guitar, and he plays everything on it, like from country to heavy metal to.
Oh, Marilyn Manson's guitar player, John Five.
Yeah, but he's with Motley Crue, but he plays everything. And when his solo stuff is so beyond what Marilyn Manson or Rob Zombie plays, but he could play anything.
Well, yeah, he was one of the house guitarists on That Metal Show. Yeah, he's mind blowing. So is Bumblefoot. I've seen Bumblefoot with Asia.
I saw Bumblefoot with Asia. He's
incredible.
He was great. He sang like John Wetton. I swear to God, he
nailed it. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Bumblefoot? Are you
Bumblefoot's great.
Yeah, when Asia and Yes did that Royal Affair tour, we saw him in San Jose, and Bumblefoot was the lead singer because Billy Sherwood just wanted to play bass.
Wasn't Bumblefoot in Guns N' Roses?
Yeah, he plays. I think he plays on Chinese Democracy.
Yeah, and he's in Sons of Apollo too. 2 albums.
Yeah. Bumblefoot's good. I'll give you that.
Yeah, he's really good.
So Bumblefoot. So this Asia show was after Wetton had died, obviously.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't.
Man, was this like 2 years ago? Was this pre-COVID? Was it 19?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was 2019, I think.
Yeah, it was the summer of. Yeah, we saw him June 28th, 2019.
Wow.
And the time we saw Asia before that, when they opened for Yes, Billy Sherwood sang lead. Well, no, he sang lead for a while, and then all of a sudden Bumblefoot singing lead. So
Grant, can we go around starting with you and what's everyone listening to the last few days? I know we had such eclectic.
Well, I just got back from. Well, kids, I got a big stack because I just got back from Reno. Holy mackerel. I went to Recycled Records in Reno, which was, I thought I was going to have an outer body experience. Of course, if anyone knows, I buy a lot of CDs because CDs are cheap. They had an unbelievable selection, but they also had vinyl too. And they were like the nicest guys in there too, real down to earth. Talk to you, no snobbery at all. But I bought a whole bunch of shit. But what I've been listening, well, I haven't listened to this yet, but I got the Cheap Trick 4 CD box set of the shows from the Whiskey that's on Real Gone Records.
Okay.
Which is limited. It
might be sold out now.
It's probably sold out, but I got one. Of course I got one because it all comes back to Cheap Trick.
Is that the original band?
What's that?
Is that the original band?
Yes, this is from 1977.
Oh, wow.
So it's 4 shows at the Whiskey A Go-Go.
Is that
of course, I got Greta Van Fleet because that's coming up. And then we did that Kaja Gugu show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they had the Lamal CD, so I'm going to do a solo Lamal review.
Are you serious?
Why would I?
Yeah, I don't think I can help you with that one.
Grant,
I haven't listened to it yet.
Grant, your chuckle before you mentioned Kaja Gugu sounded very Santa-esque.
It did.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, it sounded ho ho ho.
And then, this is something else. Wait a minute. Comments. Wait a minute. Here we go. What's this? Richfield Records. Todd Evans.
Ricefield.
I look for a YouTube channel I couldn't find it. If one exists, can someone type it back here to me in the comments?
Very nice of you to ask.
Is that
Ricefield
like
Records.
Perfect timing, Todd? Or I don't know what we should say.
Yeah, I'm going to launch something sometime during, if I could talk like a TV person, sometime during first quarter. Something's going to launch. So stay tuned.
You heard it here first, kids. I was privy to it when I was in Atlanta. But now this has been the official announcement. You've heard it here on Green.
But thanks for asking. I appreciate that. Yes.
Todd's got the beard going.
Yes, I do.
Should be good. I'm looking forward.
Todd's rocking the beard. That's for sure.
But it was driving me crazy. I couldn't sleep because I sleep on my side. and it was scratching my face so bad I couldn't go to sleep, so I shaved it.
Anybody familiar with the Stone Gods?
Never heard of.
No,
I've heard of them, but I've never heard them.
Okay, well, that's something that's coming up on the channel. Michael Lodano and I are going to do. We did that show in the darkness. We're going to look at the offshoot projects from the darkness, and this is one. This is Dan Hawkins. Holy shit, this is heavier than shit.
I got to write it down. What is it?
Stone Gods.
Have you seen Justin's YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's great.
It's great. Did you see Justin perform at the Eddie Van Halen tribute?
I did not.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. He and along with the Foo Fighters carried the whole show. I mean, they had the great guests, but he was like almost the master of ceremonies with Dave Grohl. What was that band again? Stone
Gods.
Thank you.
It's well worth getting. It's really, in fact, Michael Lodano, I thought he was going to be here, but he said that he prefers this over Justin. When Justin quit the darkness, he started a band called, what was it? Brain Problem. But I've got that CD too, but he thinks this is a better CD, this brother's band. I don't know. Because this has a lot of the members of the darkness in it, but it's much heavier. Then I got REO 2. I found that because I didn't have that. And then another thing that's coming up on the channel with Peter Kerr, I found this and I mentioned it to him. He mentioned this on another one of his shows, a band called Skyhooks. And they're an Australian.
I feel a little crazy. I feel a little weird.
Oh,
didn't they write Women in Uniform?
I grew up with that. That's my childhood.
Okay, all right, there you go.
Aren't they the band that wrote Women in Uniform?
Iron Maiden covered that on there.
What about this band?
They had this used at that place in Reno, and I looked at it and I went, someone said the band Skyhooks, and I couldn't remember.
They were the biggest thing in Australia at the time. They're massive. Along with Sherbet.
This is on Mushroom.
How's that?
The Mushroom label. I haven't even played it yet.
Yeah, they're great. Look them up. Their first two albums, that one and Ego Is Not a Dirty Word. Those two songs are worth looking at just for them in their glam rock Australian prime in makeup and being outrageous and over the top.
When I got this,
that's a great album.
Fugazi.
I got the reissue, not the box set.
Yeah, this is the original pressing, so I'm assuming that this will sound great. I don't know what the box set sounds like. It makes me kind of worried that
it's good. The box set has a concert with them in Montreal.
But this, I know the mastering should be good, and it's not going to be all compressed. And
the Marillion box sets are not like that.
They are?
They're very
good. They're really good. Okay. They're really good. You can get them for cheap too if you look around.
I did find a Target CD that I had years ago. Oh, look, Rich, look at you there. That's like the second album, isn't it?
That's the second album. Ego Is Not a Dirty Word. I was always fascinated by the artwork within the 70s. It's really cool artwork.
And then I found a rare CD that I had like 20 years ago that when you go through life and you do a purge and then, you wish you hadn't sold it, but you know what it's like. Well, I found John Fogerty's Centerfield, the original Target pressing with Zance Can't Dance instead of Vance Can't Dance. So it's got the original pressing before they pulled it.
And this was all at the store in Reno.
Yes.
Awesome.
The freaking place at Reno was incredible. I mean, I went there 3 days in a row and kept pulling stuff out. Then I bought Parliament, Give Up the Funk comp because I like the funk.
Ain't nothing wrong with Parliament. That's for
and then I showed this to Todd. No one really cares other than maybe Todd.
Hey, I bought that the other day. Get my copy.
Okay. But this is Matthew Sweet Earth. This is rare because you can never find this on CD. This is the first CD version of it.
So tell me what the
reissue after.
Tell me what the difference is, Grant, because I don't know.
It's on. First of all, this is a promo.
So is that the same one I got?
Because that
Well,
looks
it's
like
probably
mine.
the same mastering, but it's on Made in USA on Digital Audio Disc Corp, which was, Columbia or Sony.
I was thinking it might have been dodgy or
but
something.
all the original ones were on this pressed in Indiana.
Doesn't really sound that great when you compare it to that compilation, the To Understand compilation. That's really well mastered. I also got the first one inside. Best value.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, I've been looking for that particular pressing because I'm a geek. And it's the first time I've ever found one that was an original CD of this.
That's the album with Easy, right?
Huh?
It's the album with Easy.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my favorite Matthew Sweet song.
Wow, look at you.
Good guitar soloing by
this is a Steve Hoffman
Robert
buy
Lloyd.
that I bought. The Rhino version of this with 2 CDs. What the hell was it? What is the name of this? Goodbye Cruel World. Which is not very well thought of, but the Rhino version of this with the 2 CD set, you don't see these ever, and they're always expensive.
Elvis makes huge amount of demos, so the demos probably sound better.
Here you go, Stephen Schnee.
Yeah, there you go, Pez Band.
Pez Band.
That's the one I got to get. I got the first 2 on vinyl.
They were supposed to put the first 2 out on CD, but they're supposed to put the first 2 out on CD, but Marty over at Gem says he's just waiting on Mimi to do it, and it's been a couple of years.
I got this.
What'd you do? Clean the store out, for God's sake? Jeez.
Kinks impersonation.
Well, Sleater Kinney. I think they're from Seattle. That's good. Sugar Cubes.
Oh my God.
CDs must
and then
be
Lena
cheap.
Lovitch. And I got more stuff, but
Yeah, you showed that before.
TSA.
Yeah. Huh?
How'd you get this through the TSA?
Kidding. I carried it on in a bag.
Big bag.
So someone brought up Iron Maiden. Do you remember a song called "Judy Staring at the Sun" by Catherine Wheel? Back in the 90s.
Catherine Wheel. I remember that.
It sounds familiar, but I don't
never
know.
I never knew that the singers. It was Bruce Dickinson's cousin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
No, I thought it was his brother.
Rob Dickinson. Let's see.
I thought it was his cousin.
He's a paternal cousin of Bruce Dickinson.
Paternal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Is anybody going to bring up the sad news about the guy from the Specials, the lead singer?
Terry
that
Hall.
is sad.
Oh, that is.
Only 63.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had pancreatic cancer.
Yeah,
Is that what it was?
we're losing everybody. I mean,
Well, kids, as you get older, everybody starts dropping off.
Except for Ozzy.
Ozzy's not even real.
He's barely holding on.
I don't think Ozzy's in functions.
But you guys, I gotta say, his album, Patient Number 9, is so good.
No.
And the first thing I thought of was, how does somebody who can barely talk sing so clearly? I can understand every word. I can understand every word when he sings.
Recording software.
auto-tune to death.
But I mean, sure. But I mean, it sure works.
Well, because he
Sounds
can't talk.
sounds
doesn't
like
mean
Ozzy.
Don't get me wrong. I have the album too. I've got that one and No Ordinary Man. I've got both of them from
Got kills on Patient Number 9.
So, Todd, what would you rate that record out of 10?
I actually rate it pretty high, but that seems like it's going to be an unpopular position. So I won't say anymore.
Don't say it anymore.
I've heard both things. Some people really like it, and some people hate it.
I think it's a lot of fun.
It's probably going to be his last record, I bet.
How do you feel
I
about
think it's
Jeff
probably his
Beck's
last
work?
record.
Oh my God, what's that?
Hello, doggy.
But I'm really kind of surprised to get that reaction, because that's the first time out of any of my circle of friends that anybody said anything negative about it. Ryan Murphy from Rush Fans absolutely loves it.
Hey guys, Apollo wants to go out, so I'll be back. Okay, hang in there.
Timing's everything, Rand.
I think it's all about studio trickery. They make it sound so perfect, clean up his voice, everything. They do everything perfect now.
I like it.
Armando, what's your take on it?
It's a good album. It rocks, but it's also commercial, and it's melodic. So I mean,
I know Joe's heard it. I want to get his.
That's why I like it, Armando, because it's melodic.
I mean,
there's nothing wrong with being melodic. I mean, people want to be, the artists want to be commercial. They want to be popular, but then they get blasted because they're popular. It's like, fuck it, you can't win.
Right.
It's like it's a double-edged sword.
So everyone, what was the album of 2022?
Oh,
the best
for me. What do you mean, like opinion-wise?
Your favorite?
Yeah, that's
The
fair.
Cult.
That's a good question.
The Cult cracked my top 10 for sure.
The Cult.
What is that, Ernesto?
Mine's Jack White, Fear of the Dawn. I still listen to it.
I think I'm going to have to go with the Scorpions album.
The Scorpions cracked my top 10 for sure.
I think
I'm just surprised that they were able
to,
being a legacy band like that and put out such a great record. It's like they continued on right from like 1981 and skipped everything else. I don't know. It's amazing.
And in the pop field, there's also Tears for Fears.
That would be my other ones, Tears for Fears.
There's a new band called Taboo from Europe. They're really good. I think their album is really good.
Taboo.
Yeah.
What
it's
are
the guy
what
from
are
one of the guys from Pretty Maids. Really, really good album. You got to listen to it.
Okay.
All right. That's your record of the year?
No, actually, there's God Lives Underwater, their newest album. Have you heard of that group?
No.
It's kind of atmospheric music. It's very mellow, but it's really, really, really strange music. But it's very, I'm telling you, it's just chill music. But it's really good, though.
I'd like to emphasize again, Jack White, Fear of the Dawn.
There you go.
I'm telling, I never get sick of it. And I saw him live, and he's just incredible. And he can shred. You think he's a one-trick pony. He started with the garage rock, but he can do anything. Yeah.
I was looking up, what was the Crash of the Crown. That was last year, though. That was the year last year.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
That was great. Past two Styx albums have been killer.
Yeah. Anybody what about the Megadeth album?
Nope. No, they lost their bass player.
Yeah, well, that's
he did that to himself. I mean,
but I think the album really picks up like halfway through. Like he gets through all this cliches, and then like the last 4 or 5 songs are just great.
He's starting to lose his voice, though. Something about his voice, it's changing.
Yeah, well, he never was Freddie Mercury, but No, I understand. When you see him live,
there's only one Freddie Mercury, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's true.
Well, I definitely noticed that live when I've seen him the last few times, for sure.
What about the new band that Chris Poland and what's his name has? The new band with the bass player.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, they have a new band together.
Right.
But the original guitarist, Chris Poland, Dave, I forgot what his name is, and they have a new band. They're really good.
Okay. I'll have to check it out. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll find the name. I got to find the name, though.
Are any of you guys Urge Overkill fans?
I'm an Urge Overkill fan.
This is
I've got that.
Yeah.
I buy everything that comes out.
Yeah, well, you should buy that.
I got the CD though, not the LP.
Yeah, have you noticed that Omnivore Records, they never do download cards?
I bought too much already. I can't buy any more.
Did you say Omnivore does do download cards?
Well, no, I bought quite a few vinyl from there, and I never get they never get a download card.
Huh.
Oh, so any Kiss fans here? I know you had the Kissmas picture.
Well, you gotta have the Kissmas picture.
You gotta get the box set.
You should see Todd's collection. Todd's got
Creatures of the Night.
No, everyone, if you remotely like Kiss, get the box set, the Creatures box set. One of the best things I've ever purchased.
Is it worth $400?
It was no, it's not $400. It was $300.
Creatures. I can't.
In Canada,
$300 when I purchased it. It's worth every penny. You can get it significantly less on Amazon, and it's amazing. It's amazing. The live recordings are amazing, and all the things that come with it are amazing.
I bought the half-speed remaster vinyl.
There you go.
But I didn't buy the box set. But
Have
it's
you
very
played
nice.
it yet, Todd?
They have an exact replica of the program that I got when I saw him. I saw him in Dubuque, Iowa. They have a poster from the show I was at in the big book that comes with it.
There were two box sets I was thinking about buying. One of them was Creatures. my local record store had it for like $450.
Oh my!
No, just go
Boxes.
on Amazon. You'll get it for under $3. You'll get it.
I
for
mean, and the other one was the Queen, the Miracle set, and I put the kibosh on that right away because as much as I love Queen, I was not paying.
Well, how much was Queen?
220.
Wow.
I bought
I'm
the
not-
2 CD version with it's got all the extra tracks on it.
I would rather get that. than
Is that
get
did that just come out, Todd?
Yeah,
272 on Amazon right now.
yes.
How
I
much?
figured that was plenty, and I really like it. I think the extra tracks are really add a
And
lot to it.
how's the sound quality?
Great. Yeah,
Well,
I like it.
What pissed
I like
me
everything
off
about it.
Who
about
mastered
that
it?
was-
Robert Ludwig? Do you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, but the remaster is from 2011.
yeah. That's because Queen doesn't think that anybody can top Ludwig's remastering, so they're
But
just
I've
not.
heard-
Gonna,
I have to admit
they're not going to
pretty
do
good,
anymore.
though.
And I agree.
I've heard fans are pissed off about it because it's not like a 2022 remaster or a remix. You know, like it's something that's already been released, so it's nothing brand new, or like that's exclusive, right?
The original
So,
takes of the songs are really great. They've got different beginnings. They've got different endings.
yeah, no,
There's
I've heard them on
It's
YouTube.
really a fun listen. Everybody
I
made
thought-
fun of that when it came out because everybody was like, "Who wants an expanded The Miracle?" But it's really good.
If
So
I would
it's-
get that,
Do you
I would
think
get-
it
I would get
improves the original
double disc.
record?
No, I
Because
don't.
I thought the original record was hideous, but
but
maybe
but I
this
like
is-
the original record, so
Oh my
I'm not
God. I
looking
just
for
don't
an
get it.
improvement.
They jumped.
Cover.
They just totally jumped the shark by that time.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I sent a message.
Wait a
I sent
minute.
you a link.
This is the band that released Hot Space, and this album, The Miracle, is where they jumped the shark.
Yeah, well, I
Are
don't
you
think they
serious?
jumped the shark on Hot Space.
They blew up the shark.
I'm
on Hot
actually.
Space.
I don't
This
want
is
to.
my
I don't.
philosophy.
I don't want to
I've
pick
said
on.
this before.
They ate the shark
Hot
on Hot
Space, they weren't
didn't
trying to
come
be
in.
Queen. They just put out a record. They
Hot
weren't
Space.
trying to be something else.
I
Everything after, they're always trying to be Queen.
don't want to
But
pick on
Hot
Grant
Space is the
too
last
much for
true
this,
Queen album.
but
Hot
I'm
Space
not
thing-
really
I think
convinced
the
that Grant
worst
has really listened to this album.
It's more Queen than Hot Space.
No, the works is them doing a self-parody. They're trying
Really?
too hard.
You
There's
see,
some
I
great
think-
stuff on the works, but it's
I
not.
enjoy
It
it
doesn't
much more than
flow
Hot
like a
Space.
natural
You
Queen
see,
Okay,
I
okay.
think The
record.
Miracle, I've
Save
said
the
it
Queen
before,
of-
Freddie's
The
piano
Miracle-
playing.
Talk about
but
Queen
that
another
comes
time.
back.
The Miracle is a combination of Hot Space and the game. It's a cross
Well,
between.
Hot Space was the last tour.
At least it's
in the
not
United-
a combination of the game and, Hot Space, and it's a kind of magic.
Hot Space was the last tour in the United States, and who opened up?
Billy Squier.
Billy
There you go.
Squier. You know, kids, we thought it all came back to Cheap Trick. It really comes all back to Billy Squier.
No, it comes back to Cheap Trick too. Yeah.
Did anybody
Or-
buy the Brian May reissue of his Back to the Light album?
I haven't bought that yet.
I was going to buy it, but I changed my mind.
I have the
Well, you know
original
what? The
CD on
Starfleet
Japanese
project
pressing.
is getting remastered.
Yeah, it's vinyl and everything. Really nice deluxe versions of it. I've seen him open it up himself on his channel. Brian May does a lot of that. You notice he always gets into opening the box sets and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
He's a
that.
real nerd within a rock star's body.
Love
Mhm.
Brian May.
He's an astrophysicist.
I did want to throw out.
guys. Speaking of the Miracle, would you be surprised to know that that's Yngwie Malmsteen's favorite Queen album?
Oh,
No.
good. Homer.
Well,
You know,
Bye, Homer.
well, okay. If that's what he says.
I mean, I was like, what?
I mean,
I
okay.
think Stephen was going to say something. No, and
Yeah, I was going to throw out a couple left field
Go
things
ahead,
in terms of album of the year.
Do it.
I mean, there's a few that come to mind. I'm not saying any of these are number one, but they're definitely top 5 or top 10. The new Ian McNabb, if anybody remembers the group Icicle Works, he's had an amazing solo career, and he's putting out an album every year, and he's still at the top of his game. And the new Dog Trumpet, which is Reg and Peter from Mental as Anything, and.
Wow.
I remember them.
And also another band is another, actually it's a New Zealand band called Another Life. This is actually Andrew McLennan, who used to sing with the Pop Mechanics and Coconut Rough, and the keyboard player and sound sculptor or sound architect is Eddie Rayner from Split Enz, who's also worked with Paul McCartney and all that stuff, and that's out too. But obviously, all the stuff I tend to put in my top 10 usually don't end up in anybody's even top 100. Which is sad.
Well,
but
But that's good though. I mean, it's different.
Yeah.
Hey, it's all about sharing different stuff. That's the whole.
Yeah.
I bet I'm the only guy who made Ted Nugent Detroit Muscle in his top 10.
Speaking of Split Enz,
okay,
I got the second
really
album by Schnell Fenster on CD.
I still need that.
Wait a minute, that's the second album?
Yeah,
that's the second Schnell Fenster.
Like,
it's got three of the guys from Split Enz in it.
Yes, Phil Judd, Noel Crombie, and Nigel Griggs.
Stephen, I got a question for you.
What's that called?
The
Schnell Fenster's the group. Go ahead.
The Ultravox, Rage in Eden. That. How would you rate that?
You mean the box set or the album as a whole?
The box set.
I think the box set is great.
It's on the way.
Oh, good. Yeah,
I bought it.
Look at Armando. He is like Mr. Consumer.
Today was payday. Sorry, I went out and I bought.
I thought that Rage in Eden was such a strange record in terms of, you get to, Vienna was such, this amazing, groundbreaking pioneering album, and it's filled with so many different things. And then they put out Rage in Eden, which sounded more. It was using the same exact sounds that they used with Visage, so it sounded very different from Vienna, and it kind of blew me away at first. But then once you get into it, it's just a much darker album, and it's still filled with great, wonderful songs. And Midge Ure is in my top favorite vocalists, along with Tim Finn from Split Enz, Elvis Presley, Karen Carpenter, and you. And the Ultravox boxes aren't that expensive.
No, I paid like see, because what people don't seem to get is in Canada the prices are a bit higher.
Yes.
Right. So for the Ultravox, after the rebates and stuff, I paid like $98 for the set. I mean, and people are like, "Oh, you're paying too much." I live in Canada, so I mean, it'll like the rate of exchange. It always goes higher, for Canada.
Well,
so
here's something that's might be disappointing for you is, the album kept on being postponed in the U.S. So it came out like in October, November in the UK, and it was postponed until like first week of December or something here. And so I didn't want to wait anymore. And I figured I'm just going to get the UK version, including shipping. It was about $60. And there's not that much of a difference. I mean, Canada, like our 60s, you're 70. So that's the price must have gone up since then.
Today, holy shit, what did I do today? Today, I also bought the first thing I bought was on Discogs was, I got the Neil Young Harvest 50th Anniversary Edition.
Yeah, how's that?
Which, if anyone out there likes Neil Young, get it. Yeah. It's worth it. And I paid like $60 for that.
Well, that's not bad.
I bought the Archives Volume 1, which is like an 8-disc set.
That's an indulgence.
It's out of print. It's out of print. I got it from a seller in Canada for like $274, and that was the cheapest price that I found. Everyone else was selling it for like $700, right? And I'm like, what are you gonna do, right? So I wanted to get it because it goes from the set goes from 1963 to 72, so you got a good cross section of all of his stuff. But that'll be the last purchase.
Well, how much did you get the Neil Young thing for?
Which one?
The Archives.
Harvest.
Oh, Harvest.
Okay, the Harvest I paid $67.
Was that CDs or LP?
On CD.
All right.
It's oh god,
Doesn't it have a DVD that's like a documentary of him making it?
It's a 5-disc set, and it has the album plus the BBC performance on video and on CD, and it has a 2-hour documentary on the recording of Harvest. And it literally, I'm watching this video and I'm like transfixed. I mean, I gained a new appreciation for him as a songwriter watching this video.
Wow.
And it's worth it for that disc alone.
Well, the price seems right. I'll give you that.
Right. But for the archives one, I paid was $272. Right. I mean, because again, it's out of print, and that was the cheapest price I could find. I mean, on Discogs and also Amazon, people are really they're fucking greedy. I mean, let's be honest, right? I mean,
didn't that come out with?
How much does he pay? How much do you pay shipping in Australia?
Huh?
In
Me?
Australia,
Yeah.
Depends. I can't remember actually.
Probably a lot.
Evidently, there's some audio.
It depends where it
issues with
comes
the
from.
BBC documentary or the.
Usually, I try to get it
BBC
from a country that's closest to me, like Japan,
Right.
Japan or something like that.
But do you have to pay a special tax or anything?
Oh yeah, GST,
Yeah.
goods and services tax. Yeah, we have to pay that on everything.
we pay GST as well.
Oh.
But I mean, because I mean, I get blasted on Facebook and stuff. Oh, you buy too much. It's like, or you pay too much. It's the area I live in. I mean, it's what they charge for like shipping it into the country.
Why,
I mean, what do you want me to do?
why does somebody care how much you pay? That's your money.
People are very stupid at times.
Yeah.
They pick on the smallest things.
Yeah.
And the most ridiculous things.
Thing is, when you're Australian, a lot of the music I love comes from America, and so you guys could probably find a lot of the stuff I want at record fairs and things like that.
Yeah,
it's really hard to get stuff I want here. Right. I go to record fairs and stuff a lot, but rarely do I get the stuff I really want.
Well, Australian CDs are.
When I found this, I was really surprised. In the States, I had never seen it before.
Yeah, there's actually an American edition of that album, which has got like that. It's not actually the same songs that are just on the album from Australia. I think they mix it up with some of the second album as well. And it's got a same cover artwork, but it doesn't have a gatefold. That's quite, actually, I saw that at a record fair recently. I was going to buy it just for the sake of having it.
Stephen got cut off. What were you going to say, Stephen?
Yeah. CDs in Australia seem to have like very, very low pressings because they seem to just be deleted or out of print.
Do you mean from Australian artists?
Yes. So like, it's so difficult for me to find Mondo Rock CDs.
Yeah. Well, that's because it's mainly, only in this area that they're released, they're very rarely international.
Yeah.
Artists.
I mean, I actually work for a distributor, the biggest distributor in the world.
Oh, really?
And we bring in a lot of Australian stuff, but that, all the things like Mondo Rock and things like that, those were basically couldn't get a hold. I mean, they're all like CDs from the 90s or something like that. So it's not like I could find.
This band?
Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact,
are those
there's a Rubellin one.
These are the remastered editions.
Yeah, Rubellin did them. Right? Are those the Rubellin versions?
Yeah, he used to. I don't know if he still posts on the Hoffman forums, but he was over there a lot.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. He also did all the Oingo Boingos. He did the Missing Persons.
I got all the Oingo. I got all that stuff. I got the Missing Persons box.
Yeah, so did I.
The American vinyl of the first album, Divinyls, is better than the Aussie version, I think. Kicks off with Boys in Town, which is their most iconic.
Yeah, the guy that does that, Scott, he's just up in Cleveland. He's like, a couple hours away from me.
Yeah, he does great work. I have personal issues with him, but I'll always support whatever he puts out because all this. I mean, he put out freaking Fingerprints. Does anybody remember Fingerprints? Such an incredible band.
That Trees album.
Trees was great.
Yeah.
Yep. He also put out put out some Berlin. He put out the first Ricker case or Kasich.
I got that too. I buy pretty much all the stuff he puts out.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the thing with Paul Lazar? What's that band? Oh shit, brain problem.
Oh, Slow Children.
Slow Children. He put out 2 of the Slow Children records, and those had never been out on CD ever.
Yeah.
I picked those up too. I'm bad.
Yeah, there's I think Rebellion's doing great. I think Cherry Red does great. Although Cherry Red,
well, the mastering on Cherry Red's questionable, but esoteric stuff, is absolutely stunning.
See, you have to realize that in a lot of situations, like, okay, I'm going to admit something here publicly. Okay, does anybody know who Classics?
We already had something that Todd admitted publicly.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I wish I had music. This is a Grant's Rock Warehouse exclusive.
It is an exclusive.
Steve, go ahead.
Okay. Does anybody know the band Classics Nouveau?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sal Solo, the singer, put out a solo record in about 1984. And it was never on CD, right? It's a great record. Great record. And back in the day, I spent like a good part of the 90s transferring over like 500-600 albums from vinyl to digital. I went and cleaned up all the pops and clicks and stuff. So one day, Sal is a Christian artist now. So Sal was appearing at a church in Costa Mesa. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to bring a copy of the digital transfer I did for Sal. I did the album, added some bonus tracks to it, B-sides and stuff, cleaned it up, gave it to Sal. He was really appreciative of it. He contacted me later and he said, Cherry Red cannot get a hold of the masters to this. Is it okay if I send him this to see if it's good enough? So Cherry Red liked what I had done and they released it. So the Cherry Red version is my vinyl to digital transfer, but I didn't expect it to be commercially released. And, people like, Scott from Rebellion ripped me a new one because they didn't approve of the transfer. And I thought to myself, well, it wasn't supposed to be for commercial release. It was made for me, 2 of my friends, and Sal Solo. And if the guys at Cherry Red said, hey, yeah, this is good enough to release, who am I going to argue with it?
Who are you
It's not your problem.
Yeah. So if you actually own that Sal Solo CD, that is actually my master. I mean, I honestly wish that they would find the masters and redo it. But I don't think it sounds bad. But when, in fact, nobody I know thinks it sounds bad, except people who do the same thing.
Well, also that Steve Hoffman group,
Oh yeah, I would never pass anything. And you know what sucks is me and my buddies would do trades with people because like I said, out of like let's say I did 500 vinyl to digital transfers, albums, all this new wave stuff. It was all stuff from like the late 70s, early 80s. Mm-hmm. I'd say maybe 30 to 40% of it has officially come out over the last 20 years. So there's still hundreds of albums that I transferred that are not available. So we would trade them with people. We wouldn't do it for a profit. I see this stuff available on eBay. People are selling it on eBay.
Really?
Which scares the crap out of me.
They have.
I don't want my anything. I mean, nobody knows I'm involved, but it's like, oh my God, what if
they do now?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not telling you the Sal Solo, I'm not telling you who.
Okay, that's fair.
But were those Runaways reissues on Cherry Red? I think I got a couple of those.
But the Naked Eyes reissues on Cherry Red, I don't know if anybody has them.
I love those. I love them.
Yeah, but they are so brick walled. They are one of the loudest CDs I ever heard, other than Huey Lewis Sports, that was the reissue, which is absolutely horrid. But the Naked Eyes is pretty loud. I mean, it's. Oof. But I love Naked Eyes.
I was born with hearing issues. In fact, I said this in a recent video. So I don't hear some highs and I don't hear some lows. So the stuff that a lot of people will go like, oh my God, that sounds awful. To me, it sounds fine because I'm just hearing the things in the middle. And of course, I admit I'm missing out on a lot of those great, this is why I don't care about MoFi or any audiophile stuff, because I'm missing a lot of stuff, because I can't technically hear it. Or I mean, not technically, I mean, literally, I can't hear certain notes. And so all that stuff is way beyond me. And so, yes, I know, I can tell when things are brick walled, but if I just turn the volume down a little bit, it sounds great. But I love those.
I mean, if you don't put it through what is like Audacity and look at it and look
right.
You might not know, but
does that mean you hear mono albums really well?
No, I don't hear. See, because remember, there's certain frequencies above and below the normal hearing that I don't hear, whether it's mono, stereo. Here's a great example, and I'll shut up about it. Is one day during the pandemic, I went outside, and this is like right after everybody was put into lockdown. So nobody knew what was going on, and it was still kind of a scary thing. It's like, what the heck? And I walked outside and I sat down and I go, wait a minute, I'm not hearing birds. And because out in front of it, where I lived at the time, there was just trees, just the whole sidewalk was lined with trees, and I couldn't hear birds. And I started going, wow, is this something different? I mean, is this affecting birds, or are birds dying? So I took my phone and I turned on the video and I hit record, and I sat there for 30 seconds, hit stop, hit play, and held up to my ear, and I could hear birds perfectly. But in real life, I cannot hear them.
Wow.
So I don't walk outside and I don't hear birds at all. But if I record them and listen to them close, I can. So of course everyone's going to go, oh, well, that's going to explain your shitty taste in music. No,
You do well where I live, where the crows won't shut the F up.
Well, here's the question: how often do you use headphones?
Outside my trees, I just my window in the late afternoon. It's so loud.
Yeah,
I have to go with the hose sometimes and try to get rid of them.
But Ernesto, I use headphones all the time.
Right.
Kathy, I'm not Amish Santa.
And does it make the sound better or the same?
Better, because it's like closer to the ears, and now most of the time when I listen to headphones, it's going to be I don't do over the ear anymore. I don't mind over the ear, but it's usually like the earbuds or earbuds or earpods that you stick in your ear.
Yeah, and those are bad for you, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm going to die anyway, so
Well, we are all going to die.
Yeah.
Try rocking out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll die listening to Squeeze B-sides.
Anybody a Hoodoo Gurus fan?
Who?
I love the Hoodoo Gurus.
The Hoodoo Gurus.
Yeah. What about?
Got their new one this year. Chariot of the Gods.
Yeah, I haven't heard that yet.
It's pretty darn good. The Hoodoo Gurus, wait 6 or something years to give us a new album, and it's always really consistent. Blue vinyl.
What kind of music is
Nice.
The vinyl. It's kind of basically their music is garage power pop, verging on hard rock. Their early stuff was very they were on the Big Time label, and they were associated with that real kind of, a lot of bands like that were doing the kind of garage rock thing. Their first album, Stone Age Romeos, I won't bother getting it.
So Rick, you would do a show on that, right?
Hey?
You would do a show with me on that, wouldn't you?
I'd love to do a show on the Gurus, yeah.
I better write that down. See,
they're amazing. They're one of the great Australian.
We get all the show ideas, just like this.
Yeah. They're kind of power pop garage rock, but they're very Australian like attitude. But they're very, they're an iconic Australian rock and roll band.
I love, you like Rich, you like American stuff, and you track down American stuff. I'm like way into Australian, British.
Oh.
Well, so am I. Yeah.
I mean, Australian. I'm a huge fan of the Sports and Stephen Cummings. The singer. I'm a huge fan of.
You must be a fan of these guys then.
Oh yeah, Thundy Boys. Yeah.
That's a classic Australian garage power pop, 60s power pop album.
Yeah. Do you remember The Innocents and a song called Sooner or Later?
Yeah. That was on Countdown, I think.
Yeah. So if anybody cares, if you love the Raspberries, listen to The Innocents Sooner or Later.
Oh God!
It sounds like,
damn it, Schnee! I'm going to spend more money.
And these guys, the Stems, they're total like 60s, 60s jangle.
Don Mariani was in that band.
He's an absolute icon. This is a great EP, Love Will Grow.
The Stems?
Stems, yeah.
Right
Yeah,
now.
and Don Mariani was also in the Some Loves, and they have a great song called Melt.
And DM3.
Yeah, DM3, 1, 2, 3 times devastated, or 1 time, 2 time devastated.
1 time, 2 time, 3 time devastated. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the best power pop songs of the last 20 years.
Well, the 3 albums that he made with them.
Yeah.
Really
So, Steve, The Innocents.
The Innocents, the normal spelling. Yeah, the Innocents. They used to be called Beethoven, as in Beathoven. And their song is called Sooner or Later. Swear to God, it sounds like it's a in my opinion, it sounds like a Raspberries outtake.
Wow.
And Grant, remember I was telling you about Sherbet?
Mm-hmm.
How's that?
Maybe.
They're very pop, but some of their stuff verges on power pop. The song Summer Love. Check that out.
What year is that from? What
75, I think. Yeah, and you'll just see them in there. The lead singer Daryl Braithwaite with his shiny vest and his, they're just 70s glam rock pop and all the screaming girls. You realize how massive they were.
Sherbert. I'll look that up.
They actually had
Star Peters. About damn time.
They had
How can we have a show without Star showing up?
Sherbet had a semi-American hit. See, every time he mentions,
how's that?
How's that? Every time he mentions Sherbet, I'm going, how's that? But that was actually a semi-hit here. But they also, in America, they released 2 albums under the name The Sherbs.
Highway? Oh, I thought it was Highway.
No,
the Sherbs at first.
Yeah, The Sherbs. Like The Skill was one of the albums, and then the album after that.
They tried to be on New Wave, didn't they?
Yeah.
I don't think it worked. I've never even heard them. What are they like?
Is that rare? Is that rare? The Skill on vinyl?
I'd
Is it
say
rare?
all those albums be rare now because they sold nothing.
Yeah, in America, The Sherbs is probably $1. It's probably in the dollar bins. In fact, I'd say good.
No one knows what it is.
90% of my favorite bands are all dollar bin, but I was buying them when it was new, on vinyl. I'd be paying $4.99. God, I remember when albums went up to $5.69 for an LP, and I'm like freaking out about that.
I'm going to plug this band, but you guys have to hear Off Broadway if you're into power pop.
Yeah, I did. I heard some of that.
Well, I'm working on getting the band. I'm working on.
They're pretty good, but they're very typical of that late '70s power pop sound.
I just have to give them some dates, and they're going to come on because
Rich,
I love this record.
Rich says '70s power pop like it's a bad thing.
So no, did that come across that way? No, I'm at it. Listen, look what I've got in front of me, waiting to show off.
Show it off.
Oh, that's a great record, Van Duren.
Yeah, this is an original copy. I got
That's
it on
amazing.
eBay. I couldn't believe I actually got an
How
original
much did you pay for that?
I can't remember. It was a while ago now, but it sounds great.
What genre is that?
That's power pop. You don't know that, Grant?
He used to hang out with this dude. Here's another thing I'm going to show off for you.
Damn, Rich.
I can't read that, Rich.
It's a Chris Bell box set.
Oh, okay.
Oh, where in the hell's Davy?
Okay,
Holy
this is probably my biggest indulgence. This has got everything you'd ever want from Chris Bell, including an interview that he did when he traveled to London. It's incredible. Chris Bell's one of my big heroes.
I bet Davy has that.
I'm going to text him right now.
And Chris Bell and Van Duren really tight. They used to play in a band together. And Van Duren almost joined Big Star at one stage.
I think it was Omnivore who put out Omnivore. I think put out the 2
Omnivore.
Van Duren.
I've
albums.
got them right in front of me. The
on
CDN, and the
on
second one that never came out when it was recorded. We've got a new cover now. Idiot Optimism, which is a great album. This is
Rand's got a question.
Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with the Tom?
I got to get going, you guys, but I want to ask that. I can't see his name because my screen's too small. But the guy has all the knowledge up there in the corner. I don't know your name.
Steve Schnee.
His name is Grant.
No,
I have a lot of knowledge, but not like Steve Schnee.
I think I have a power pop album that I don't know. I've never heard anybody talk about it, and I bought it way back in the '80s, and they're called The Ladder. You guys know The Ladder?
Don't know the Ladders. That's a new one.
The Ladder.
Really good. I kept it, because I like them, and I think they're from Philadelphia, but I'm not sure. But oh my God, that stuff is really good.
Now we have to look, Grant.
Did you say The Ladder?
The name of the record is The Ladder, and that's the name of the band. Yeah, I can show it to you. Want me to go get it?
Yeah.
Is it ladder as in D, as in the one you climb, not like not like the opposite of the former?
Yeah. Hey, I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay. But the Toms, are you guys familiar with the Toms?
Yeah, I've got the Tom's reissue.
Yeah,
It's fun,
the
isn't it? Like just like a Beatles album, really.
Yeah,
the Toms is like a Beatles album.
Yeah, the self-titled album,
Totally
you know, with the
Beatles,
red and white checkers. That's like a.
You guys are on a different level. I'm not even that sophisticated.
The
If-
first time I
thing I
heard
can
it,
do
it
is
sounded
drink beer and
directly
look
like
like
Beatles
Santa.
'64 to me.
But
Yeah,
you're the guy
it's-
with the knowledge.
it's all
One
it's
guy.
all home recording DIY. One guy. Are you guys familiar with R. Stevie Moore?
Stevie Moore.
Yeah, R. Stevie Moore, as in the letter
No.
R. He's actually the son of Robert Moore, the bass player for like Elvis and Roy Orbison, you know, a session guy, whatever. R. Stevie Moore is crazy, very eccentric, but he's been doing DIY recordings since 1968. And he's released like hundreds of cassette albums. I just did a recent video going through the CDs, and I did a little medley. And he's like one of those home recording geniuses. He's got a lot of weird stuff too, but you know, the Toms, shoes, black vinyl shoes. Okay,
I got that.
the ladders. There you go.
Speaking of home recorded geniuses,
What year was that ladder, by the way?
They're on
Emmett Rhodes.
They're on Atco Records, and it's
Emmett.
what year did it come out? This is a promo copy, by the way. I can't see the date. I think it's 85, but
Oh, okay.
I'm not
43
sure.
years later, we get another album.
Yeah.
It's I think this is the only one they put out. It's not 85. Hang on. It's 1986.
Okay. Still a good year for the Roses.
So these guys were label mates with Yes. and Genesis.
Wow.
Atco.
I've never seen that, Rand.
Yeah,
I've never
I
seen
found
that.
it. I found it in a used store for $3.99.
Wow.
Pretty rare, I bet. It's it's got the usual promo thing on the back about not selling it and all that.
Yeah. Did Grant, did you see Rich when he pulled out the Emmett Rhodes? Are you an Emmett fan?
I like Emmett, but unbelievably, I don't have anything. I keep looking for
This is a
stuff.
classic.
I
This
think
is like
I have that
one of
on
the-
vinyl.
One of the
That's the only
greatest
one I've
one-man
heard.
band albums ever. I mean, the guy was only 22 or something. He made this. I mean, what an amazingly
Oh, I
talented
think I have that on 8-track.
ABC. But yeah, basically, if you put the McCartney album and that first Emmett Rhodes album side by side, some people would
This is
have.
better.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall, as for immediacy, the Emmett is actually a better album. But of course, I love the McCartney album more.
Oh, do you?
But I think that the
That's
Emmett album is
That's a
better.
strong statement.
Is
The
it that
McCartney
similar?
album's like, prototypical DIY one-man
Yeah,
band, isn't it?
But it has
I mean,
Junk, and Junk is like my top 3 McCartney songs. So I'm automatically going to be drawn to that album since it has the song Junk on it.
This is the
and
London
Sing-Along
edition of the
Junk is
Van Buren
karaoke.
album.
What is that again? What is
It's
that?
in
Rick?
the English edition of Van Buren's debut album.
Wow.
It's called what is it? The Staring at the Ceiling. Same album, but it actually sounds really good too. It's on the London label.
Yeah,
Well,
Van
I
Buren
think
hasn't
I
been the
have too
same
much
since
music.
David Lee Roth left.
There you go.
That's true.
No, but Van Buren, if you want some classic power pop, I'm one of the guys, and I apologize, and I know that Grant's going to kick me from the stream, but I'm one of the guys that doesn't consider Big Star power pop.
Oh,
I consider them a great pop band, but if you compare them to the power pop bands, I don't think that they fit quite in there. But
They're not as distorted. Are they?
Here's a question, because I'd like to hear some Big Star. What album would you recommend to start with?
well,
Just the
they
first
never
one.
made a bad. Well, one of the. If I was going to do Big Star, I would. Well, actually, my favorite's the
Don't
second
start
one.
with the third one.
I wouldn't start with the third one. That's pretty eclectic. But either
If that's
first
not,
or
if
second
anything's
one-
not power pop, it's that album.
yeah, what is it? What's the one? Radio
number one
City or-
record.
Yeah, number one record's great. See, I like Big Star, but like I said, I mean, I don't put them in the same category. I put them in a great, like they are as great as power pop bands, but I don't automatically go for them when I think power pop.
Yeah.
But we all have our own definitions of
Well,
power
we
pop.
looked at that Raspberries album. I don't think the first one's. I mean, there are power pop elements. I think they didn't really get power pop until side 3.
Well, it's like saying Led Zeppelin are a heavy metal band.
Right.
No, they're not heavy
you
metal.
can't call
at all.
that
They're not-
way
yeah,
heavy metal,
but-
can you? Or
No, I just want to get someone's
look up any
opinion as
heavy
to
metal
where to
encyclopedia.
start.
They're gods.
Start with the number one record or the first record, whatever.
Yeah, it's the original lineup.
Yeah.
The first
Yeah.
album?
Yeah, because you're going to want both Alex and Chris Bell.
Okay.
And that would probably, you know, it's easy to say, Armando, to go for a
Radio
a
City's a
Fatso.
great record.
But yeah, there are CDs out there, and they're probably not too expensive. That because I think the first album and Radio City used to be on one CD, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
on line.
Right-
It came out
right,
together.
I did.
Well, actually, there's a line release that had all 3 records.
Oh, was there? Yeah, I didn't know
Find
about the.
it. Yeah.
about
Okay,
that
I'll
one.
check
Sounds great.
Discogs. Either Discogs or eBay. Because Amazon in Canada doesn't have a lot of big store.
Oh, okay, okay.
I
See,
think
that's-
that too far on Rykodisc is probably one of the reasons that they had a resurgence when that came out. It
Yeah,
came out with the Sister Lovers after it, which is like an extended version of the third album, which I personally prefer. Actually, I'd love them to release that on vinyl. That'd be really cool. But,
and the Chris Bell came out the same time
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
That
was
Chris
Rykodisc
Bell,
as well.
yeah. I
His
picked
album's
one up
beautiful.
on
I love his album.
Omnivore, which was the CD of it on Omnivore, which I think it was a re-release of the Rhino Handmade. It's funny they did those Rhino Handmade CDs, and a lot of them came out later, like on Collector's Choice or
And also,
Omnivore.
Wounded Bird.
Wounded Bird.
Yeah, they
It's
do
just
a lot of
odd. You
reissues.
think Rhino would repress them and keep pushing them, but I guess they wouldn't be collectors.
Well, no,
Oh,
they
sorry.
probably just don't want to put the money into it. Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
there
the
you go.
4 Men with Beards version, which I think's the one to have.
Now here's a question for Rich. What do you use to clean your vinyl?
Well, if it's really old and got lots of dirt on it, I just use really very slightly warm water and soap, washing detergent. And then I just got a record cleaner with a really nice, good quality cloth, and I just clean it really well.
I got a nitty-gritty record cleaning machine.
I'd love to have one of those, but I just haven't got around to getting
Do
it.
they work?
Oh my God.
They do.
It
yeah, I
doesn't
think so.
work. It's like God. That's like when you clean a record, it's like the sky's open and the yeah, hell yes.
Well, no,
How
because you
much
see
are those,
these.
Grant?
You see
What?
these adverts for like these record cleaning machines, and they don't.
Oh, record cleaning machine's definitely worth the investment.
They're like
What
about
does the
what?
nitty gritty cost, Grant?
Two something?
I
No,
was like
two something.
$250, but I bought it 10, 15 years ago.
Oh,
There's so many in the market though. There's a lot.
Well, I got that because the nitty gritty I have is a manual one. It's not, you have to spin it yourself, but
Okay.
I'm able to spin something, but it was for like $250 or something.
They even sell the wipes. They even sell the wipes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I use
But
an
don't forget,
old
during
term-
that era, though, when I bought that, I was so hardcore vinyl. It was, I was bad shape.
Yeah.
I just use an old turntable. I use a paint pad.
Yeah.
I use Turgiclean with some distilled water. Spray that on there. Use the paint pad.
Look,
spin
Rand's
the
old
record
school.
around. Then I use like a wet dry vac with this attachment that somebody made for me. To dry, suck the water back out.
Dishwasher.
That's
this
old
is-
right there. That's old school. The dishwasher.
That's old school.
Here's
Well-
a little story. Here's a tiny little story for you. I bought this at the store where Mike Patton used to work before he got famous.
Wow.
The Works in Eureka, California. That's where we were both born. I knew Mike Patton really well when he was in the store. Every time I went in there, we always talked. And
Look, Byron's got the dishwasher too.
In the box.
2 of them.
I
love
bet
those
Todd's
things.
got one of those somewhere.
I
it
don't,
come with, like
actually.
you could put a liquid bottle in there. Like
Yeah.
a bottle. But
Back in the
Now
day,
it's
that's
gonna
all
go
you
look.
really could get was the dishwasher.
does anybody know what they used in the bottle?
Alcohol.
Is that what?
Smell like an
No, I
alcohol.
smelled it. It didn't smell like alcohol.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I
know,
think
but
so
And it
either.
didn't taste like urine.
It was a half and half.
It tastes like urine.
You guys got to
Smell
see a
it
movie
right
called
now.
Young Doctors in Love. Since you brought that up,
Does
That's a
not
really
smell
funny
like
movie.
alcohol.
you'll laugh so hard you won't be able to sit down.
What does it smell like?
It doesn't really smell at all.
Yeah, it doesn't have a
had no
smell.
odor.
Oh,
That's
so it's
why I always
fake.
wondered
It's
what it
probably
was.
just water.
Don't put alcohol on 78s. It'll melt them.
But they
Good
went out
Lord.
of business.
Yeah, 'cause
Am I
of
correct?
shellac.
This is no longer in business.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, they are.
I thought that they
they
bought
are?
somebody bought them and then put those back out again
Oh, I didn't know
because
that.
they were off the
Different-
market for a little
I
while.
think they're a different name now.
Maybe
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
get that liquid now because I didn't know you could still get it.
Someone could clear this up. Where dishwasher are they in business? We need someone to chime in.
But yeah,
You know,
Hey, I
somebody-
need to be
We
a
only had a
jerk.
way to look it up.
I
Someone
need
just
to be a
mentioned
real jerk. I have to
someone
get
just-
going.
Oh.
Can I show my stuff from 2022 real
Of
quick?
course.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I really.
Don't be sorry, Rand.
No, that's what
When
we're
you're
here for.
70 years old, you do things like this. Yeah, hopefully, people feel sorry for you. Okay, real quick.
Go ahead.
A band from England called Fragile. If you
Mm.
like Yes, you'll love this band with female
I was gonna
vocals.
say.
It's called Beyond. Fragile Beyond, and it's Claire Hamill on vocals. She was on the Steve Howe album back in '79.
I remember that.
And this
I
is
remember
their
that.
yeah. And this, hey, by the way, they changed the cover of that album. The reissues took away the dead man floating in the water.
Oh,
Well, we can't have anything like that.
Roger Dean was not
nowadays.
happy about that. Okay, this is a great album. See, I'm gonna go prog because that's who I am. Right, Grant? Anyways,
That's right.
this is Birth, Born. These guys are from LA. This
Yeah.
music sounds like Genesis from 1973, all redone, really great. Excellent stuff.
I put that on my Spotify list today because Pete
Oh, yeah.
recommended it.
All right, we
I
have a
love 'em.
Grant's
Never heard it yet.
Rock Warehouse.
You'll be blown
Alert.
away.
The
Huh?
dishwasher is available for $12.99. You can
Oh,
still
wow.
get those.
so
Thank you, Brian.
Okay, I'm still going. This is a band called Bubble Math,
Yeah.
and this is Turf Ascension.
Never heard of it.
Oh my God, this stuff is so crazy. It's like it's like
prog,
Happy
yeah.
the Man on steroids. I mean, it's just absolutely insane music. Love them, big fan. I got the box set of Asia live at Tokyo in 1983 with Greg Lake on vocals.
Greg Lake,
Mhm.
One
the
off.
MTV concert.
This is a Blu-ray right here. I got the entire box set. I gotta say, they really padded the box set for the price because it's over $100. But I had to have it.
Hey, I tell you that I think Greg Lake did a fantastic
Oh, I
job.
know.
They got him
Call it
like the
yeoman's
week
job?
before.
Yeah. Carl Palmer called him in at the last minute because John Wetton and Steve Howe got in a big fight and he quit. Frankie Zappa, the Roxy box set.
I have that.
My God, it's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah,
Not a bad note. And this is
I
the
have two Zappa sets coming on Saturday. Actually,
cream of the crop right here, guys. The new King Crimson box set. In
That's
the Carter
coming next week.
King movie.
Oh my God, Armando, you're buying everything.
You know
I
what?
bought
If you
this-
got Armando here, you know he's got everything
I
coming.
bought this directly from Robert Fripp because that's
yeah,
the
I
best
got it
deal
from
I
their
could find.
website. Yeah,
Check this out.
Go ahead, Rand. Oh,
Yeah, I've heard
Wow.
that.
that's
This
been out
came
for a
out-
while.
You know what? This is a Japanese pressing, and you know what I paid for this on Amazon? You won't believe it.
$4.99.
$8.99. Brand
what
new.
is it?
It's the cheerful insanity of Gals, and Fripp. I can't do this reverse thing very well.
Oh wow.
You want to
Jeez,
move
okay.
your arm one way and then the thing goes the other way. God, that drives me crazy. And then last but not least, I just got this. I've been wanting this for years. I forgot all about it. If you're a Camel fan, this is called Mirage. It's all live and they do Camel music. It's Pete Barden's and the keyboard player.
I've got the Pete Barden solo record on Esoteric.
Heart to Heart. Is that the one? Heart to Heart.
I don't remember. I
I've got 3 Pete Barton CDs and 1 LP. No, 2 LPs. I've got one called The Answer, where he's hanging out with a bunch of scantily clad ladies out in the
Oh, we can't have that.
field. It's okay. They're not naked, but
well.
Anyways, I'm gonna.
Hey, Rat.
I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Merry
Have a
Christmas.
good Christmas.
All right, Rand.
Happy
Nice seeing
Hanukkah
you.
or whatever your holiday is, and tell them about Grant's Prog Warehouse. Grant.
Well, Rand and I are going to do a show. He and I are going to start a probably once a month show called Grant's Prog Warehouse. So Rand will be on, and we're going to be looking at some. Star Castle, thumbs up or down? Thumbs up.
I love.
We'll be looking at some prog stuff, and we're going to start out with the latest Yes album.
Thumbs down.
I was just going to say,
we're going to talk about the
exactly.
I agree, Todd.
I know. The third one.
They had Star Castle CDs at that place.
More good than bad.
4 of them on CD.
There's one Star Castle that I don't like, and it's called Reel to Reel. It's pretty awful.
It's the last one. I think
But
it's the third one.
Song of Times is awesome.
Beautiful.
That's there's a reunion kind of one that's in 2008 called Song of Times, which is really good.
Hey,
To
Rat.
me,
Yes,
to
sir,
me, they
Todd.
sound like Yes Light. I don't know.
I love them.
Are you going to buy that 21 LP box set
Of what?
of that some Yes shows from 72?
No.
I already have it.
Oh, you do?
Of course he does.
Oh my God.
Shit.
If he doesn't have it, Armando's got it, for God's sakes.
I won't. I can't.
He has it already. He's going to show us.
Oh, shit, he's moving. Be
Uh-oh.
careful, Rand, for
Uh-oh.
crying out loud.
See that?
Oh, always showing off.
This is my Yes shelf.
Oh, his throne
Do
room.
you have enough, Rand?
The Quest.
Actually,
I
that's
think
his
we need
yes
more.
room.
But you want to
Yeah,
hear something
yes,
funny?
bro.
I haven't heard one disc out of this box. Nothing. Never played it.
Well,
And
I'm
I've
not going
had
to
it for-
ask you for
You know
a
what?
review
That's
then.
not
I've had it
funny.
for like 2
That's
years.
quite common.
I buy more than I have
Someone's
time to
here.
listen to, guys.
Hey, Rat, where's the dirty magazine?
Holy
set?
shit, look, everybody, hold on. Peter Kerr's in the house. Everybody, welcome Peter Kerr. Thanks for coming on.
Peter,
Brian McFadden.
Yeah, hello,
he's a
Ozzy.
Hey, we've
pal of
got 2 Australians in the house today.
good to see you, Pete.
Hey, mate.
mine. Brian and
Hey,
I
have
have
you-
had some long
Speaking of
chats.
Ozzy, have you heard of a classic Australian prog rock album by a group called Tam and Shud?
No.
You need to look it up if you're a prog obsessive. They made a one-off album in 1971 called Evolution. Recorded it in
Wow.
like 2.5 hours for a surfing film. It's a real rare album now, but check it out. You'll
How do you
probably
spell
love
it?
T-A-M-A-M.
Wait a minute, I can't hear. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Peter
can we
Kerr.
get a message to Peter that unmute?
Yeah,
Wait a minute, you're unmute yourself. I can't unmute you. There you go.
Greetings.
There you
he
are.
is.
Hey, Pete.
Thanks for coming on, Peter. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Tam
Yeah.
what?
Tam Shud.
T-A-M-A-M, Taman, S-H-U-D, Shud.
Okay,
Just
thank
Google
you.
that an Evolution album. It's a classic prog, Australian prog album.
Thank you.
I saw that Rand was on the show, and this is the first time I've ever been on a show with Rand.
Really?
So, yeah,
Good
we've
Lord.
sort of seen each other, but I've
Well,
never been on a
I'm
show
not
with
sure if
Rand
Rand was
Kelly.
here.
Yeah, you complimented my Christmas music, didn't you?
Anyone who plays the keyboards, well, you got to give it a thumbs up.
Armando's getting a lot of love in the chat.
You guys want to see my music room before I leave?
There he is.
Yeah, we do.
All right.
Grant,
That's
I
what we're
wanted
here
to
for.
make a
What,
comment.
what Armando?
Right?
Now that Peter's here, I wanted to if it's okay, if we could plug a show that we're doing.
God, you're gonna have to remind me because I don't have my book in front of me. What are we
No,
doing?
No. Peter
Oh,
Kerr and
you
I.
and Peter, for God's
Yes.
sakes.
Well,
Go
you and I
ahead,
were
yeah,
going to do a
plug
show at
away.
the Tea Party at some point.
Other people do
Oh yeah, we
shows,
haven't
Grant.
done the tea party yet.
I got to pull all the towels off of everything.
But
Is this the plug time?
yeah,
There's a Rush show dropping tonight that I did with Mr. Todd Evans, which builds your fantasy Rush set. So concert set. That's a killer. That's dropping tonight.
Yeah, and Peter and I are doing a show on. We're going to be discussing the cult under the midnight sun.
Yeah.
We're going to be taping tomorrow. So.
Yeah. And I did that's going to be a killer. And I did a show with Peter Jones about Black Sabbath Sabotage. And I'm calling it perhaps maybe the greatest heavy metal album of all time. Anyway,
Love it.
see.
And Peter, I will be contacting you about this
album.
I love it.
Am I going insane?
I may have to.
Rich, do you want to be a
I'm
part of
getting
this?
busy
Too?
from
part of what?
Randy
Sorry,
and
Do you want to be a part of this chat?
Am I going too fast?
Skyhooks.
Of
Of course. I got all their albums.
Yeah, Rand, you're going too fast.
Sorry.
Grant, get bicycle legs on that chat, Grant. He likes Skyhooks too, so we could have an all Aussie prong attack.
Listen to my
I'm going to work on that tomorrow.
Impersonation. If I did not have an ego. Oh, there you go.
Holy crap, Rich.
You know, I think I'm going to stop making videos because I've been cranking them out, and with every video, I lose a subscriber. It's the weirdest thing. I could have I don't get a lot of views, but it's like, I'll be sitting at like 1,335, and then I'll put out a video. Then it goes down to 1,334. Then I'll put out another video. Then it goes down to 1,333. And it's like, no, I'm supposed to try to be gaining subs.
So everybody from here subscribe.
Have you had
so
other people on your channel to do a show?
You know, the theory is 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the other way around. It always goes that way.
The other way
I'll
around
tell
is better.
Steve, going on Rachel's channel has made leaps and bounds for mine. I'm up to 474.
Well, you see, I've been part of Rachel's universe since she started, but I don't normally go up on streams. I mean, of course, I'll go up on streams with you and maybe a couple others. But I did go up. Did I go up today, Grant? Was it today?
Yeah, you were on here today.
Yeah. So
I was there for the whole time.
Yeah,
I was there for the whole time yesterday.
I'll tell you, Stephen, when we did that show a few weeks back, when you and I got into it, this was like a few weeks ago. A few months ago. I actually subscribed that same night onto your channel. So
thank you very much.
By Homer.
Yeah, it is all CD stuff.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
My question was, Stephen, do you have other people on your channel to do shows with, or
actually my shows, or I mean my channel, is anyone familiar with a guy named Matthew Street? He's big in the Beatles thing.
Yep.
When we don't do
guys. Yep.
Yeah, I bring him onto my channel and we have discussions sometimes, but not about the Beatles. I don't talk about the Beatles because every other channel does.
I don't talk about the Beatles either. Sorry, Rand. Sorry.
Yeah.
Rand.
And then Ronnie Barnett from the Muffs. I have him on my, plus I do interviews with artists. We just put up Dog Trumpet, or I just did a Dog Trumpet interview. Like I said, they were two of the guys from Mental as Anything.
Wow.
And,
killer band.
Yeah. And I do have a lot of people who I collaborate with. Generally speaking though, I don't normally reach out to people to ask them to get involved in stuff because I don't like to do that stuff live. I like to do it Zoom, and then I go through and edit it out.
Well, that's how because that's how I do with Peter, and Pete Pardo does everything on Zoom, and he pre-tapes and then airs. Like he uploads.
I think it depends on who you're reaching out to. I mean, subject wise and your music.
Yeah. No, see, and that's just quickly. It's been suggested to me a couple of times that I should start my own channel. And you know what? I wouldn't. My hat goes off to you guys that you can do this on a daily basis, on a regular basis, because I don't think I would.
Well, I'm addicted to it, Armando. I gotta do it.
Well, I could tell, but I mean, I
put so much content out. Jesus Christ!
I don't think I could do that myself. Like, it's a lot of work, and a lot of hours you have to put into it. I don't think I could do it.
But I don't find it. I don't find it. Me personally, it's not work. I do all the graphics. I do all the editing. I can just crank the shit out like in my sleep.
Well, because
from doing graphic design for all those years, I can just. For me to put a graphic deal takes me 10 minutes.
You look
Yeah,
like Ben
David
Franklin.
Gallagher
there,
said to
San
me I
Andreas.
should have my own
I
channel.
do. I
but
like it.
I shouldn't.
Benjamin
I gotta
Franklin.
go, guys. I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody.
Thanks, Fran. Merry Christmas, Fran. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Hope you like
I
Tam and
can't
Shay.
believe you haven't been on a show with Peter Kerr.
No, never.
Yeah,
Just
that's
one of those
amazing.
ones. Strangers in the night.
But there,
See you, Rand. Merry Christmas.
I mean, I'm talking
Here, you too.
contrarian stuff, but there's a lot of other contrarians I have not been on shows with.
Well, they've been showcasing people on the Contrarians, one at a time, and I haven't been contacted, but that's okay.
Yeah, there's a few that I
Talk to
haven't met.
Marco.
I don't care. I'm just glad to be on your show, Grant. I'm really excited about it. So I'll see you Tuesday night, and have a great Merry Christmas.
Yeah, thanks, Rand, for
Have a good
popping
Christmas.
in. Appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank
bye,
you.
everybody.
See you later.
Good night. Merry Christmas.
Merry
See, here's the thing about the question that I Homer
Yeah, I
said,
Homer. Yeah.
or Schnee, it looks like all CD stuff. Yeah, I do talk about CDs. That's my format of choice. That's why I haven't, there are, everybody wants people to talk about vinyl, but the thing is I talk about CDs, but let's say, for example, this of course is a, new CD, you can't get it on vinyl, but I'll talk about my latest videos were Elvis Brothers, the Bongos, Münchener Freiheit. These are all things that it's all available on vinyl. I'm just showing the CD version. I'm not talking about the format. My channel, I am the CD junkie. That's my name. Yeah, there you go. I'm not talking.
Look how much I got that for.
That's amazing.
You know how
That's
much
incredible.
this goes for in Discogs?
How much now?
Oh, shitload.
Yeah.
Is that the Bongos?
This is
No, that's the
Elvis
Elvis Brothers.
We got it for $2, man.
But I'm talking about the music as opposed to the format. So I totally appreciate anybody who buys vinyl, anybody who buys CD. But to me, it's all about the music, not the format.
Well, that's the same thing Mazzy says. I mean, he's got CDs and vinyl. He does both.
Yeah.
But it's all about it's not about the format. It's about the music. And, CDs can sound great. It's all about the mastering.
Yeah.
Who cares about the medium?
I get why people, are into vinyl and don't want to listen to CDs or vice versa. I totally get that. But like I said, it's really all about my love of music and hoping that I can turn somebody on to go get that CD. Or I even say, hey, this stuff is in the vinyl, like the Elvis Brothers. You can find those, the first two Elvis Brothers albums on vinyl, probably in the dollar bins. And, the Bongos, I talk about the Bongos in my latest Münchener Freiheit, all this stuff you can still find on vinyl. And I'll always say that, but it's just that my format that I show is CDs.
Yeah.
But, I don't talk about.
Funny. No, but here's the funny thing. There's not that many people that do CDs on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
There's not that many.
Yeah.
Well, Grant does it, but other than that,
Well, I've got both.
There you go.
But I told you guys, I've got so much
great one,
vinyl
Rich.
that it's unbelievable that I bought.
Here's the question. Is it difficult after a while to come up with topics?
No.
I'm never going to run out.
I think Grant's
Never.
very open-minded. Far more open-minded as a rock fan than I am. I mean, I draw the line at things like Bon Jovi. That's for sure. Shouldn't I have said that?
Which channel, good doctor? What channel do you want to know?
Well, here's here's the thing about CDs that I love, and please don't crucify me for this, but I can, let's say I walk into just whatever store, and I see a 3 CD version, a 2 CD version of The Hurting by Tears for Fears, and it's an expanded version. So it's a remastered album, plus it has, let's say, 15 bonus tracks, A-sides, B-sides, whatever. And it's on the shelf, brand new, steel sealed, selling for $24.99. I can buy that, which is tons of music. It's more than double the length of the original album. Or for $5 more, I can go buy the vinyl LP of just the original 9 or 10 tracks. Now, for me, the CD is a better value. And and it also, but I mean, that's just my preference. Other people may just want the original album. I know people who don't care about bonus tracks.
Right.
But I'm not going to fight anybody, and of course, I'm not assuming anybody wants to fight me about this. But I embrace the music more than the format.
You see, what pisses me off is with some of the reissues. For example, the Neil Young Harvest 50th anniversary, you have the first disc is the original album. The second disc is 3 outtakes, and that's it, just on one disc. So you're charging more for more CDs, whereas if you take those 3 outtakes, you can just put them on the end of of the album itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not utilizing the space on the CD properly, in my opinion, and you're charging possibly more money for something that's not really like that could you could be using it better, you could be utilizing it better. But
I mean, there's a whole topic on cash grab, isn't it? Like, how many versions?
It's a cash grab.
How many versions of A Kind of Blue by Miles Davis are there out there? How many versions of Rumors by Fleetwood Mac are there? It's just every 2 years,
and that's just it. Rumors.
It's like that version of Rumors that's got Silver Springs stuck on it.
Yeah,
I mean, if you grew up loving the original album, that kind of spoils it, I think.
Yeah,
what's funny?
I didn't mind the Record Store Day version where they had alternative takes, because that's like a whole new album. I didn't mind getting that.
But can you imagine that Silver Springs was only a B-side?
Silver Springs was supposed to be on the album.
What a great track!
No wonder
Silver
Stevie
Springs was supposed to be on the album, but at the last minute, they made the executive decision to take that off and replace it with I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what?
I thought that I Don't Want to Know was already on it, and they just took Silver Springs off.
No, they felt that Silver Springs didn't fit with the continuity of the record, which I think it does, and they replaced it with I Don't Want to Know. So in those days, 10 tracks, 11 tracks on the album. What the hell's the big deal? Like it's
well, if you've listened to his old Todd Rundgren records, it's a big deal.
Well, Todd Rundgren.
Initiation, anybody?
Yeah, Initiation.
I have
the longest album ever at the time, I think.
I have Initiation. I have Utopia. I know what you're talking about because the sound can be very.
Wizard doesn't sound all that hot, but the CD sounds fine.
But
how many versions of that have been released now?
Oh my gosh, there's Maisie.
And Maisie. Anything?
Wait a minute, let me get my gear on.
Well, here's one for you, Armando.
Maisie, Hey, Maisie, I already
prefer vinyl or CD?
On
what do I prefer?
Yeah,
CD, because physically it's easier for me to handle,
right?
And sound wise for me, it sounds better.
How many CDs do you own, Armando?
Check this out, Maisie.
The jury's still out on that one, Peter.
Is that where's the apostrophe?
I would say I would say 2,500.
Oh wow!
I have boxes of CDs that I move with me from Toronto that are still under the stairs that have been there for like 12 years. I haven't unpacked.
Wow!
Like literally. I mean, I just buy and I just love music, right? So
right.
Yeah.
I mean,
the curse is real.
Curse is real.
And there are worse curses to have.
Right.
I think my motivation.
True that.
Yep. So I don't know. I mean, in terms of CDs and stuff, that's just my opinion about utilizing a CD in terms of the playing time. A playing time on a CD is like 79 minutes, 59 seconds. You're telling me that with this Neil Young set, they couldn't tack on those additional 3 tracks on the end of it just to utilize the time
3
better.
tracks.
I mean, it's that's my only gripe about it, but it's a fantastic set.
What are the outtakes like pretty decent.
They're good. Yeah, they're decent.
Well,
I
it's
mean,
like if you got the Beatles Revolver box set on CD, on the vinyl they've got like an EP that's got Rain and Paperback Writer, a mono version and the new stereo remix. But if you get the CD box set, they add a CD in there with those 4 tracks on one CD.
Yeah, they could have easily added them to.
It's so stupid, you know.
But that's what I mean. It's like you're not utilizing the disc properly.
They could have added 103 tracks on this album.
Oh, look at Mr. Kerr.
This is my little Christmas present to me. So
And how many
this will be
copies
getting
do
a
we
burn
have
on the
of that, Mr.
weekend.
Kerr?
Yeah.
Show me that from the side. I want to see how thick that box is. It's kind of like the Destroyer box.
Yeah. Upside down.
How much was that, Peter? Sorry. Again?
What is that Australian?
A lot.
A lot. Is it like 2? Well, what did? Wait a minute.
It's about 55 cents, 57 cents.
Hold on,
yeah,
people. The
it's
good doctor. The good doctor's coming on.
What did
Welcome, Mr. Funkenstein.
Mr. Funkenstein?
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Right.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Hello, Malaya. There she is.
Just a quick note. I'll guarantee you, if I go on Amazon.ca and look for the Creatures of the Night, I will be paying at least $400 for that.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Hey,
It's one of my
Star, where
favorite
did you
Kiss
get your
albums.
Creatures box from? Did you do through the Kiss?
I did it
Store or
through
what?
Amazon.
You got yours through Amazon? I heard
Didn't you tell me you have more than one copy?
Yes, I did, but I'm not going to share it for this audience. That's a bit. I got 2 copies of the box set erroneously, and one of the box sets was actually opened, and somebody nicked some of the CDs. So I've got to return it back to the source. So you've got to be careful, guys, when you get your box sets in the post. Just make sure they haven't been tampered with. But anyway, the vendor is going to let me return it and get a full refund.
Someone's at the door. Excuse me.
Malaya's here.
Yeah, that's
Are
disgusting.
you familiar with an individual named Zeb? Yeah, Zeb's a subscriber.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever got their
There you
stuff
go, Grant.
stolen
Thank you,
online?
sir, for recommending this.
Sorry.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. You've got
Love
that
it.
is a must.
Love it.
Can I
I'm just
recommend
I'm
one
just
more
glad
thing that
someone
I
listened
got?
to me for once.
One more thing that I got. I don't know if you guys are fan of punk rock, but the Damned, the original Fabulous Four, reunited earlier this year, and they put through a box set straight off the soundboard of the concerts, the 5 concerts in England. So each of their shows straight off the soundboard.
Martin Popoff's ears are probably on fire.
Yeah, I haven't listened to this, but this literally got delivered today. So
wow,
looking forward to that.
I've got one recommendation that I bought today. It's the 50th anniversary of Michael Field's Tubular Bells. There's a live version of it, live in concert. It's a double disc and a double DVD, the double Blu-ray that I ordered. It's coming on the 29th. So if you guys want to get that, it's on Cleopatra Records, I believe.
So let's flip. So of course,
8-track.
Well, Ernesto's all, and it's pink.
Ernesto, I enjoyed seeing your Alan Parsons Project 8 tracks on Instagram the other day.
Thank you.
That Ammonia Avenue has got to be pretty rare.
They're pretty well maintained. I mean, so they play good too. They play really good. You'll be surprised.
Those are some albums that would probably sound good no matter what format, though.
Yeah.
Hey, Grant, I got a couple of things to recommend because I got to hop off soon. Do you mind if
Okay. All right.
I thought
should
we were
get
going round robin, but I would.
Should I get my
here till
pen?
Christmas. What's that?
Should I get my pen ready?
Well, I don't know. A lot of people are talking about this first one, but I'm counting down the top 10 albums of 2022 on Twitter and Facebook, and this was my number 10. Clutch, Sunrise on Slaughter Beach. and it's very, very good. I'm new to this band. Martin Popoff got them on my radar, and I started listening to one of their albums that he thinks is the best one. I think it's called Blast Tyrant, but this album right here is really fantastic. 33 minutes long, which is the perfect length, I think, for a heavy rock album, and I really enjoy it. But this is the thing that I'm really excited about. This is a pretty obscure Swedish band called Soul Syndicate.
Holy mackerel!
And I have a bunch of friends on Twitter that are into metal, and on Discord. And this band, if you like mainstream rock, like from the 80s, like stuff like Honeymoon Suite and stuff like that, this band will absolutely blow your mind. They are so good. And they, I always say that if you have a band and they have a female keyboard player, they're always going to be awesome. And that's exactly the case right here. But there's a song on here that is called Shadow of My Love. That is the most authentic 80s power ballad you've ever heard in your life, but it's got real, like, heavy metal guitar riffs in it. But 2 guitar solos, an epic key change. I mean, everything you love about that kind of music, if you love that kind of music. So I recommend this very, very highly. I won't say where it's going to end up in my top 10, but pretty high. Soul Syndicate.
SOLE is the...
SOLE, yeah, it's upside down 7 on here, but it's an L.
Writing it down.
So yeah, I recommend it very highly.
When you did the podcast about Honeymoon Suite,
yeah,
I'd never heard of them before. I didn't like it at first, but then I listened again. I actually like them now. I think
they were popular.
They're pretty good. I got a friend of mine who's really into totally like arena rock type dude. He just loves all that kind of stuff, and he'd never heard of them. And we were driving in his car the other night, and I blasted, New Girl Now and stuff like that. And cool.
That song New Girl Now, when it came out, I originally thought that was like a British band because it sounded very British.
Here's an interesting thing that I think now is, we all have very different tastes. I like Honeymoon Suite, but I wouldn't have liked them if New Girl Now was the only song that I heard. That's like my least favorite.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Just like Loving Every Minute of It by Loverboy is the worst Loverboy song. Loving every minute of it. But if I base it solely on
Loverboy, that's not the best Loverboy. Let's be honest.
No. That's what I'm saying. Loving every minute of it is not, for me, not anywhere close to the best Loverboy. New Girl Now is not anywhere close to the best Honeymoon Suite. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree, Stephen.
Yeah, Brian likes Honeymoon Suite. There you go. Yeah. But we looked at that. What is the last Honeymoon Suite album that Tim and I looked at? Chestnut Hill or something? Oh my God, it's wonderful. And that came out way beyond. That's when the original band formed back together.
You see, that's when they fell off.
It's on Frontiers
years ago.
It is absolutely top notch. The whole record, the last Honeymoon Suite album.
You're really lucky when you get an album on Frontiers that it turns out to be pretty good, because I don't think Frontiers has any editorial input.
No.
I think if they sign somebody and they know who they are, I think they hand over the tape and Frontiers just puts it out.
They don't care. Well, it's like the Blue Oyster Cult, the last one. Great.
Yeah, that one was good. That's a good one.
Frontiers, brilliant.
Some of those Boston albums, not so
much. Davy and I looked at that. A little bit questionable.
Yeah.
What are the best Honeymoon Suite albums? The first one would be great, I assume.
I think The Big Prize is the best.
I like the last album the best.
Yeah.
The Big Prize is good. Racing After Midnight.
That's the third one.
Yeah. That was when they went Hollywood.
Yeah.
But that album got good reviews. I will give it that. Oh, Monsters Under the Bed was 91. Yeah, that was the one after. Monsters Under the Bed never got an official U.S. release.
Todd had brought up Frontiers. Obviously, everybody here knows, and Homer mentions it there. I actually, we used to, the company I work for used to distribute Frontiers until they went somewhere else. But for a couple of years, I got promos of all the stuff, just in the little plastic sleeves, the booklet, inlay card, CD. So I listened to Frontiers constantly, and I liked the unknown bands, their new band signings, more than I liked.
Most of what they put out is good. Yeah, I agree, Steven.
But the problem with Frontier is they only do like a limited run and then they stop, don't they?
Yeah.
They don't do like a
Well,
continuous.
is the Blue Oyster Cult one still in print?
It still is, but those Asia albums from the early 2000s, I think, are all gone.
But don't you think the sound of a lot of those Frontier albums are a bit uber compressed?
It depends. It depends on which one.
Sort of like cheap studio sounding. That's what I find. Some of those Frontier albums.
Yeah, they can be like that. Yeah.
Again, like I said before, Peter was here, that I can't hear highs and lows, so I don't hear the compression like you would. So,
yeah,
I mean,
He's all mid-range.
The reason they mentioned Honeymoon Suite were they on Frontiers at one point?
No, it's just that Todd had mentioned them.
Okay.
For some reason, and then Homer ran with it as well.
This is a good one.
What is that?
This is Toto 14. This is a Frontiers album that sounds
Toto
good.
14?
Yeah.
And some of their album covers are a bit
2015.
iffy. Some of their album covers are a bit iffy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think
Whitesnake
have had the same album cover again and again and again, and it's like my daughter's Year 3 project.
Yes.
It's this, let's just do it again.
I mean, if we're talking Canadian bands, we really should plug the Tea Party because, I mean,
we've got to do a show on
Well,
that.
Armando will. Yeah.
Brian
I
said
haven't-
something, and I have to make a
Armando
correction.
and I were supposed to do a Tea Party show 2 months ago.
I know, and I'm still waiting.
All right, I'm writing it down.
He's based in Australia, isn't he, Armando?
Jeff Martin,
the main man.
He has a studio in production studio in Byron Day, I think it is.
Yeah.
I want to say something to Byron, who asked the question. When I said early 2000s, I meant early 2010s. So I'm talking about the Wettin albums. I'm talking about I can't remember the name of the first one. Omega and XXX.
Yeah,
and
those
I
are
don't remember the
good.
first one. Yeah, those are
When
good.
the original
Those were on
band got
Frontiers.
back together, those records were good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cherry Red reissued the first of the reunion albums, and they put like the
Phoenix.
European version.
I'm trying to think of.
Phoenix. They put the European version and the American version on, in a 2-disc set, and that was through Cherry Red. But Brian mentions here about John Payne. I'll tell you, I loved Asia, or I still love Asia, but I always call John Payne's Asia 2. Because it's a completely different thing. I'm going to actually do a video on Asia and what I call Asia 2. I actually like John Payne's stuff, but it's hard to think of it even as the same band as the one with John Wetton. You know what I mean? Because they're so different, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're right, Homer. Tea Party, they're doing a couple of shows with an orchestra in Ontario, I believe it is. In February. That's what they do. They've done a couple of shows with complete like 40-piece orchestras and stuff. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're real. I mean, just to put it to bed, to me they were one of the most original bands, even though they were compared a cross between Zeppelin and Doors. They were one of the most original bands to come out of Canada ever. In the 90s, and they never really got their full recognition that they should have in the States. They were big in Australia. I think they're still big in Australia, but they never got their full due. And
yeah, they're virtually unknown here in the States.
It's pardon my language. It's a fucking shame that they didn't get their full credit.
I wouldn't say they're huge in Australia, but they're well known.
Well, I remember back in the 90s, I used to go and see them. They were quite big back then anyway.
Yeah, I don't know now, but
they've got a lot of radio play.
They draw a crowd, put it that way.
They do. Yeah. I mean, they're popular.
I suppose huge is relative in Australia when something...
Brian, there's
a 2,000-seater. That's huge.
Brian McFadden, there's a video that I saw on YouTube of Lou Gramm playing like a state fair. and I think it was like last summer, and I was totally blown away by it. Lou still sounded absolutely great.
Yeah, for someone who's gone through what he's gone through, he's fought his way
he
back.
sounded great. I mean, Lou doesn't look like Lou anymore, but he still has the chops.
He hates the singer. He hates the new singer from Foreigner.
Yeah. Well,
I like him, Kelly Hansen.
I mean,
like him.
he and what's it, the guitar player,
Mick Jones.
Mick Jones.
Mick
He
Jones.
and Mick Jones have been on the outs for years.
Yeah.
Well, Grant, Joe B saw Foreigner, and Mick Jones wasn't in the band, so they are completely franchise. They are a franchise
They
band.
played
now.
here at the
He
Ohio
plays
State.
sometimes.
They
They
have
played here
like
at the
one to
Ohio
me
State
for a
Fair
while.
last summer, and he wasn't there.
I'm sorry, but that is not Foreigner.
No,
that is a
ridiculous.
franchise cover band.
It almost wasn't when he was still there, and now it most
Yeah.
certainly isn't.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've got this topic of franchise. Would you see a franchise band like Kiss? You could get the new
that's what's
generation,
gonna happen.
put the makeup on.
Yeah.
Would you
I wouldn't
buy
see
it?
it with the originals.
I would if it was not advertised as anything but that. Like if I went and saw
Kiss are
Foreigner
half
and not
a
even
step away
Mick
from
Jones was
doing a
there, I'd
karaoke
be
band.
upset. But
Hey, Star. Oh, there we go. I knew Star would chime in. They're doing a farewell tour next year, but Star, what do you feel about Kiss if they go on with like alternate players and just go out as a brand? I'm just curious if she'd.
They would sound better.
Holy crap!
Well, remember Devo 2.0?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just all kids or something.
You know
Bit of an
what?
Australian band,
Kiss will definitely
LRB.
do that, no
There's
doubt. Kiss
no
will do
originals
it.
in that.
Yeah.
To
I saw a
me-
thing on at LRB the other day, an interview with B. Birtles on the what is it, Professor of Rock channel,
Yeah.
and he can't get the right, or Glenn Shorrock can't get the rights to the name, and he's
Yeah.
the guy that wrote Reminiscing, and Glenn Shorrock's the guy that sang all the songs. They can't even tour
Absolutely.
under that name. Isn't that ridiculous? The
Well,
music
yeah,
business is like,
I
They
saw
were-
them open for somebody about 15 years ago, and it was an absolute joke. It was just five
this, a
completely
little
different
band?
guys.
The rights to the
what
band's
happened-
name is.
Yeah, what
is go ahead.
Well, I mean, do you guys remember when John Fogerty got sued by Fantasy
oh
Records
yeah, he
Yeah.
didn't
for
play
sounding
TCR
like
songs for years.
himself? Like, I'm sorry, that's him. He wrote the music. He sang the songs.
Yeah.
So for Fantasy Records to say no, you sound too much like CCR. Hello, like,
Well, they tried to sue him over what? It was
I mean,
The old
come
man
on.
down the road.
old man down the
It was the
road.
old
Yeah.
To
manager.
be honest, that's all Fantasy Records had.
I mean, I mean,
Now,
come
Peter,
See
on.
it slip away like that, I'm sure it was heartbreaking.
But he won. He won in court.
Well, he won it.
Good. Good.
But I mean, like, you know, the bullshit of saying, well, you sound too much like yourself. What? I mean, that's what it came down to.
But with LRB, I think the rights are owned by a bass session player. So LRB were a little bit slack. They didn't own the right to the name. And that's in copyright law, that's a major no-no.
But that's just it. How do you not?
Yeah, but
own
the
the-
nerve
And
of
he's
the people
American,
going out
or
and
or
playing
lives in
under
America.
That name. That's just so disrespectful.
Like, how do you not own the rights to a band that you're in?
It's a trademark. So
I mean,
I hope the Beatles and all those, they must have had good lawyers and, you know, got the trademark name so you couldn't do it. But LRB obviously, or Little River Band, obviously didn't do it, and they can't, you know, the originals cannot perform under their
it's
original name.
ridiculous. But it's
Well,
like Paul Stanley saying that when he and Gene Simmons retire, they're going to get two other guys to take
Yeah.
their place.
They
and
will.
Kids will continue.
Star says she's
Karaoke
done. She's not
band.
following him anymore after that.
That's a bloody karaoke band. That's not Kiss anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
Here's why it works though. Okay, I
sound
hate
better,
the
I'm
idea
telling you.
of I hate the idea of Little River Band existing with only a session guy who joined the band in like 1985. But like my buddy who knows all this kind of stuff, you know, knows that there's no original members of LRB left. He went with his wife and another couple to the Coach House, which is a place in Southern California here.
In there.
And he went and saw Little River Band, and he knew exactly. But his friend and the two wives were watching the show, and they loved every minute of it. They were totally getting into all the songs, and they had a great time. And my buddy never told them that none of the people are the originals, because some people don't follow that stuff. We're the kind of guys that know who tuned the bass on albums.
So sad.
Yeah, I
Maybe
know.
not on LRD.
I mean, that's
Maybe
not.
Yeah.
We're not bragging, but
Yeah. But it's just interesting, though, because there are people out there. Remember back in the 90s, I think it was, Frankie Goes to Hollywood was on tour in the US, yet it was all American musicians, no relation to the group Frankie Goes to Hollywood. But they were playing clubs as Frankie Goes to Hollywood. It was just, they were just making money off the name, and they were playing Frankie Goes to Hollywood songs. But they weren't advertising that none of them were the original members, and it didn't have any association with the band at all.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, I
They
know.
Wouldn't have pulled the wool over our eyes, Todd, would they? We saw it.
No. And the Bobby Kimball from Toto tried to tour as Toto in the late '80s and got sued.
Yeah.
Also, the Guess Who.
They came to Atlanta, and my friend got backstage passes, and he was like, "I don't think this is Toto. It's not adding up. I think it's just Bobby Kimball," and that's what it was.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
that's a bit
like,
closer to the real thing than
It's a bit
Foreigner with
closer.
Nobody.
But yeah,
I've got a soft spot for Bobby. I think he is the voice of Toto, even though he's a little bit of a.
well, he was the voice of Toto.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can sing like that anymore.
He can't.
well, I mean,
I don't think he could sing in the day, but anyway, but he is.
That's
He's
like
close as
Kansas
the
guy
voice of Toto.
You know, I don't
The new
mind.
Kansas guy, I think, is the best singer that Kansas has ever had.
Well, those last two Kansas
Ronnie
albums
Platt, I
are
think he's the
killer.
best singer they ever had.
Believe
I
it
don't
or
mind
not.
Joey Mullen going off as Badfinger, right? I mean, it's kind of stupid because Pete and Tommy wrote all the songs, or I mean, all the hit songs. But Joey Mullen's out performing as Badfinger. I can't stand it when another member of the band is introducing the song, and he'll introduce something from Straight Up. Okay, this isn't Joey. This is one of his pickup musicians. We'll introduce it.
Henchman.
Yeah, this is from our album Straight Up, and it's called Day After Day, whatever. And it's like, no, some guy who joined the band like 3 months ago should not be talking about from our album from 50 years ago.
Well,
That's
here's
ridiculous.
the question: how do you feel about Queen touring with Adam Lambert?
I don't like it at all.
I think it's okay
I
because
think
they
it
say
shouldn't
it's
be
Queen
called
plus
Queen.
Adam Lambert. It's not called Queen.
We don't
It's
have
called
John
Queen
Deacon.
Plus.
Wait a
Queen
minute.
plus
wait,
Adam
wait,
Lambert.
wait, wait.
Yeah, it's not
Oh,
called
okay,
Queen.
let's take a poll here. Who likes it? Who likes it?
It's entertaining to
Hands up.
watch.
I
see why they've never made an album.
Who doesn't like it?
I don't think I've ever really heard any.
I saw
I don't
them
care
with
either
Freddie
way.
Mercury, so
You know what?
it doesn't mean anything.
I
to me.
saw them 3
Yeah.
times with Lambert, and it was a rock show. It was a good show. I almost got kicked off Facebook because I told someone to go F themselves because
Yeah, you can't do that, Armando. You can't
no.
do that.
These fans, these so-called Queen fans, went on their Facebook page and started saying things like, "I pity you for doing what you're doing. You shouldn't be touring anymore." You know what? Half the band is still there.
Right.
They toured as they joined. They were named Queen before John Deacon joined. Okay. They had 7 bass players before John Deacon joined. Freddie Mercury is gone. The demand for them to tour is there. Why not let them do it? They wrote the music as well as Freddie Mercury did. They're not saying they're
And of course, Brian May's guitar sound is a huge part of what they were about.
exactly.
It is, and
They're
Brian
not
and Roger
saying
Waters.
we're the same unit.
And
I'm in the
Roger
John-
Taylor's
I'm in the John
drumming. It's
Deacon
very
camp.
important.
I'm in the
Okay.
John Deacon camp, who's respectfully just remains silent. And
Yeah,
just got
except for
on with
John
his
Deacon
life.
doesn't have an issue with it.
Well, he's
No,
still
because he's collecting
still
money.
part of the band.
Right.
He just doesn't tour.
He
Well,
does
he's
the
just counting
business part.
cash.
He's
He
just
is. He
making
makes-
money.
He makes
And-
money when they go
and
out.
Roger
He's
Taylor-
just have you seen him lately? He looks like a bag lady. But anyway, he's
Roger
counting
Taylor-
cash.
Is that really John Deacon? Who is that?
Yeah,
Quick-
no,
quick
seriously,
off.
he looked like a hobo.
He looks like Sid Barrett almost.
Roger Taylor has gone
Sid
on
somebody.
record as saying, if you are coming to this show to it and are expecting a tribute to Freddie Mercury, don't fucking come. Stay home.
So
You
that
know,
should be written on the ticket.
Armando, this is a holiday show. We're
Yeah.
trying not to.
So,
No,
Armando.
I'm just saying.
Armando, did
Armando's
you
getting
like Paul
cold when he's
Rogers?
talking.
Did I
When
like the Paul,
Armando talks Queen, he gets fired up, boy.
No, did I like the Paul Rogers
Don't
album?
you mention Hot Space, Grant? Don't you mention Hot Space?
Hot Space is the last true Queen album.
I like the album.
Whether you like it or not.
Blues
Too
album.
late.
It was more of a blues-oriented album. But I mean,
Are you all Free fans? I'm a big Free fan.
Yeah.
I like
Not
Bad
really.
Company better than Free.
Yeah,
No, I love
I like
Free.
Paul Rogers.
I like some Free. But
How about The Firm?
Yeah.
I never bothered with those albums.
Okay.
Any good?
Yeah.
They are.
Oh,
That's
DC.
okay.
Here we go. DC tune
Fritless
time.
Space Monster.
Musicians need to play. They are not pretending to be the original band. Buy your tickets or not. That's true. No one is forcing anybody to buy tickets to
exactly.
these shows. My friend at work was talking, oh my God, I'm going to go see Foreigner at the fair. I can hardly wait. She had no idea who was playing in Foreigner. She just knew the brand. I said, well, Jody, you know, there's no one left in there. And the chances on that what's his name's going to show up is pretty slim, but she didn't care. They just
I'll be
like
right
the
back.
whole idea. It's the brand, you know.
Yeah, but do you understand? You like you said, it's just a brand,
Right.
and to them, they don't care as long as they play the hits, and that's it.
And if the band can pull it off, who am I to say? Everybody has to make a living.
Well,
We don't
I'd rather
have
see
to
a
go
local
see it.
tribute band than some national touring tribute band.
Right.
Exactly.
got a
Like in
local
Australia,
DJ
there's so
band
many
is
cover
great.
bands, isn't there?
There's still a lot of people that cannot get over
So
that Dennis
many.
DeYoung is not in Styx. You know, they just
And he's
can't
been
let
out
it
of
go.
Styx longer than he's been in Styx.
But
Right.
but see, here's my issue with that, Grant.
All right.
So they replaced Dennis DeYoung with somebody else, Lawrence Gowan, right? Lawrence
Right.
Gowan is great,
Lawrence is
very talented
great.
dude. Why does Lawrence Gowan not have a signature song? He's been in Styx what, 20 years, 25 years?
Probably 20 years.
He has his own solo material, so
I
his own-
know, but I mean, did he really replace Dennis DeYoung, or does he just sing Dennis DeYoung songs in concert?
Yes, that's what
He has
did.
had a long
placeholder.
time to make his mark on that band
I'll tell you,
in
what
the
signature
studio,
song is
and
a
he has
criminal
not.
moment.
Even
He
Kelly
is not
Hansen.
He's not
One
being utilized to
Foreigner
his full
song.
potential. I don't
Too
think.
In
late.
that band,
No, I agree, he's not.
I
But
don't
I mean,
believe
Styx
so.
should really start thinking about that. He could have had a signature song.
too late.
Look at
Instead,
us all
his
getting fired up
signature
about
songs
franchises.
are Dennis DeYoung's signature songs.
Yeah.
But
So that's my
thing
only
is,
issue. That's
too,
my only issue with Dennis DeYoung not being in Styx.
the
They
thing
rely
is,
too much
too,
on that material.
Yeah.
The
And
thing
then-
is, this is that people say, "Oh, you should get back together for the fans. You know, do it for the fans." You know what? There's a reason why Dennis DeYoung and Styx are not together.
There is,
No.
sure, correct.
Nobody knows what goes on or what went on behind the scenes. And there's that
Right.
saying, "They're exes for a reason."
Yeah. It's like a marriage.
So
You can't believe everything you see on Behind the Music either.
no, I mean that little
A lot of
little-
editing, but you know.
that little bit about him saying, DeYoung saying, "Do I know what's best for Styx?" Sure, you can tell that was edited together. But
Right.
I'm just saying that there are reasons why certain band members are no longer in bands, and
Right.
That's why Journey is having all those problems right now.
you know what?
Well,
They should give
there's
up the
one
ghost.
problem with
Let
Journey.
it
His
go.
name is
There
Jonathan
is a bit of a
Cain.
problem.
Yeah, Jonathan Cain needs to get the boot from
You
Journey.
know what? You know
Well,
what?
I tell you, they're all friends in that band, aren't they?
Not now.
Just get on.
Journey
Like,
should
just-
just give up.
It's a
the ghost
business.
and
It's all a
walk on
business.
and leave. That's it.
Yeah.
Because there's
They
too
need to
much-
take they need a hiatus. They need to take a break.
I think Steve Perry did. He probably goes, "I'm glad I'm the fuck out of there.
He
I've
may
got
have
nothing
made-
to do with
he
these
may have
He's
made
guys."
still
right
getting
call.
paid. They
Yeah.
pay him not to perform.
Perry is still getting the money. Like he's part of the
Good for
corporation.
him.
Even in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he didn't want to even be anywhere near them on the live set. He just sort of, "Thank you, and I'm out of here."
I
There's so
feel
much
I feel
drama.
bad for the singer because he's in the middle of all this mess.
Right.
And he's
Yeah.
just
He's got a
trying to
good
do
set
a
of
job.
pipes.
And that's what it is.
I saw Journey, only time they ever played Australia, they supported Deep Purple. They probably blew Deep Purple off stage, unfortunately. But they were fantastic, and he's got a great set of pipes.
Let me-
And it sounds like Steve Perry, 1983.
But let me throw this out. I heard on the radio station here that Greg Raleigh's reaching Greg Raleigh. Neil Schon is reaching out to Greg Raleigh. To
Yeah,
have him
I saw
come
that.
Why did
back.
it take so long?
Now, I would much rather have Greg Raleigh Journey than Jonathan Cain Journey. No
Why did that
offense.
take so long?
Well, have you seen those videos on YouTube? It's, I don't know, it was some shows that Rolly and Schon and Dean Castronovo did, and they played all the old Journey stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dean sang all of Steve Perry's
Right.
vocals. It was great.
You know, here's an interesting thing about
with Journey. Sorry, go ahead.
Here's something interesting about band or members leaving and then fans trying to get them back. I interviewed Justin Hayward once, and this was, I think, his last studio album. And around that time, there were rumors that Moody Blues were going to get back together and do like a 50th anniversary or whatever for Days of Future Past. And so I asked him about it. I said, off the record, is this happening? He said, well, I didn't put this in the interview, but he said, he said something to the effect of, this is going to be verbatim. He says, well, you don't leave a band just so 30 years later you can get back together again. It's not happening. And that was basically it, so he just blew that off.
I mean, look at the guys in Pink Floyd. I mean, so much hatred. Those guys will never be in the same room again, ever. Lucky you got them at that Live 8 concert.
Yeah. But, I mean, with Journey, like, there's been so much crap going on. I mean, you had Ross Valari and Steve Smith being fired because they were trying, according to Cain and Schon, they were trying to usurp their, get the rights to the name Journey, like underhandedly, whatever. And that was a big thing that they got thrown out. And now then you've got Perry going after some publishing issues, I believe it was, or something that, Sean doesn't like. And now it's this thing. Now, then Cain didn't want to tour after the release of the album, which apparently they had already signed the contracts to tour. So Sean is saying, you got to do this because we've committed to this. And now he doesn't want to tour. And now this thing with Cain using music, Journey music at a Trump rally or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? Crap or get off the pot. Enough is enough. You either want to do this or you don't. And if you don't, just stop.
I want to comment on something that Homer said. He said, love Neil Schon, but the dude is a complete mental case. I think that might be true. Does anybody follow Neil Schon on social media?
Well, he does a lot of guitar playing, I know, on
his
Instagram.
are kind of starting to sound like he's not quite all there.
You know what it is he's too in love with his wife. I've never seen somebody so committed to his wife.
Who, Neil?
Yeah. Well, hey, Ernesto, they're in the honeymoon phase still.
I do wonder though if maybe Neil Schon and maybe these guys are not. Maybe they're just tired and
they need to take a break.
Yeah.
And his wife is known for crashing a White House party.
White House, right?
Yeah.
With her previous husband. Yeah.
I just think that this has been going on for too long. And if you don't want to, if this is going to continue, just stop. End it.
Yeah.
Because people
I agree.
get tired.
I agree.
Good doctor, what do you think of this whole Journey situation? You're awfully quiet.
Who are you asking?
Doctor.
The doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
The doctor's in.
what I think Journey is, I think, unfortunately, probably done after all this. I mean, with the first lawsuit and being underhanded, trying to take the name and just. But I also agree that I think Neil Schon's gone a little nuts in the last several years. When I've seen interviews, I'm just like, what?
I really hate to say it, but I agree.
Yeah, it's sad. And I've seen Journey with Arnell, and they're amazing. I mean, blew me away. I couldn't believe how much I liked it, to be honest with you.
Did anybody
I like the new album.
Did you ever anybody see that video? I know it's out on YouTube where I don't know what the band's called, but it's Greg Raleigh with Neil Schon.
Yeah, I just
There's
mentioned
some
that.
other guy drumming who is singing.
Dean Castronovo.
Holy
Yeah, he was talking about that. That Journey Through Time.
Byron,
that
do you
is
remember?
freaking great.
Journey
Have
Through
you
Time.
heard that? Check it out on YouTube.
It's great.
Yeah, Journey Through Time. That's what I was trying
That
to think
I'd
of.
rather hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot
I mean,
of people
I
would
like
rather hear
Greg
that.
Raleigh, so
Well,
I'm down.
If they're
A lot of
getting
people would
Raleigh
rather hear
back, Dean's in the band now again, right? So they could go out as that. Why
But
not?
Raleigh's a good singer
That's funny,
alone.
DC.
Yeah, well,
He's a
but
good
I mean,
singer.
but
just his pedigree
Dean
from
will sing
Santana
his
is enough.
Terry stuff, and they're
Yeah.
set. And Jonathan Cain's replaceable. He just plays keyboards.
Yeah.
He wrote a lot, but
He wrote a lot of stuff. What was the album that he came in on?
Escape.
Jonathan Cain has been replaceable the whole time.
Agreed.
He's a good writer, but
he was not
Cain
even
came
he was
in
not
on
even the
Escape,
best
and-
part of the Babies.
You've got a good point. You're right, Todd.
And you know this all this happened because of a credit card.
Well, you know, there had to be something way more than just.
Well, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
There's more to the story, you know.
I just think enough is enough. I mean, you know, it's like when Guns N' Roses were doing, you know, the Chinese democracy bullshit. And it's like, oh, it's going to be the best album. Like 11 years later, it comes out and it bombed.
This is a question for Armando.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
time-
I know the answer.
Times cube. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's a 3 disc
Anyway.
set. Yeah.
Anyway, gents, I'm going to leave.
All right, Steve.
I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas.
Merry
wish
Christmas,
everybody Merry
Have a good
Christmas.
Christmas, Steve.
Thanks for coming on. It's
Yeah,
been
and
fun.
I'm not gonna ask people to sub to my channel.
Go ahead.
But
Yeah,
no.
Bring it
I
in.
will.
Promote. It's fine. Do it.
But yes,
Put the link below.
Oh,
I
Steve,
do-
for God's sakes, man.
yeah, I do
Go
tons
ahead.
of I do tons of videos on bands. I just posted the Bongos, and I'm going to be posting the
cool.
Producers and Eggstone, and I do interviews and discussions and all that kind of stuff. Subscribe, but it's all obscure. That's the reason my channel doesn't grow. Is because I'm
Well,
hitting-
Steve, I want to get involved in that producers talk.
well, no, it's already done. It's
Oh,
just
well,
me.
damn it, man.
Yeah.
What
I
the
remember them
hell?
on MTV.
Grant, you got your own channel.
Hey, I guess I'll have to do it.
Yeah. So, but thank you, everybody. DC's a regular. He hangs out with me on Tuesday nights on my channel when I do
holy
my
crap.
radio broadcast. This is Ski Lodge, which is all sunshine pop, lounge music, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Have a very Merry Christmas. I appreciate being here, Grant, and it was nice
fun.
meeting everybody here.
Yeah.
And remember, stick with Australia and Mental as Anything. Lots of great
Oh, yeah.
music from there.
We
And
intend to educate Grant about Aussie stuff, don't we?
Oh yeah. Well,
oh my gosh.
Peter, we're gonna do that show on.
Hunters and collectors
Skyhook.
and metals and Skyhook.
Yeah, you might want to do that too. We're gonna do hunters and collectors. You into that, Rich? Or
I'm not a big fan of Hunters and
what
Collectors,
else are we
to be quite
talking about,
frank.
Peter? Remind me. There's something else.
Sunny Boys, we could do that. Power
Yeah,
Pop,
Sunny
they're
Boys.
one of the great power pop bands. We could do them.
UMI.
Cold Chisel,
like UMI.
educate the early Cold Chisel.
I like it.
Angels
Oh my
or Angel
gosh.
City.
Angel City.
Cold Chisel. They're great. But thank you, everybody. Merry Christmas. I always take like about a half hour to leave, so I apologize for interrupting everybody. Have a great night.
We'll see you.
You too.
All right.
Take
See
care.
ya.
Merry Christmas.
See you,
Merry
Steve.
Christmas.
Hey, I have to talk about Dr. Funkenstein's Haken t-shirt. It's very good taste in garments.
Look, because Todd's a big Haken fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
Thank you.
The good
I'm going to head
doctor.
off too, guys. So
All right.
have a great Christmas, everyone.
Well, we're
Good
getting
night,
to
Peter.
that.
Have a good
We've been
Christmas.
on.
See you tomorrow.
Enjoy
it's
your
been a couple
summer.
hours with the music. We're probably going to
Yeah, enjoy the summer over there.
Yeah, it's going to be
Absolutely.
17
It's-
degrees here tonight.
It's
thick
34
here in
degrees,
Arkansas.
34 degrees Celsius, and the sun's out, and it's really good. But check out the Rush fantasy concert
Yes.
that I did with Todd tonight or tomorrow morning EST.
Looking
It's
forward to
worth
it.
checking
And
out.
Peter, give your channel name
Rock-
out in case the
Rock
people-
Daydream Nation. Check it out. A lot of stuff with Grant and Todd and that man in
gang.
the middle, Mr. Armando. Seeing you tomorrow, bud.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right.
Right here.
See you.
In the
Happy
center.
Christmas. Have a safe one.
We'll
See
see
you
you,
later.
Peter. I'll be in contact. There he went.
So I was watching the weather tonight, and they said we had an Alberta Clipper coming through, and I like, fucking Armando sent that down here.
Damn it, Armando, stop
It's
it.
like bloody minus 32 here, for God's sake.
Okay,
Yeah.
they've changed the forecast. In Georgia, it's going to be 10 degrees at 8 a.m.
I
Oh
have
my
been,
God.
listen, I have
That's
been in this
Fahrenheit,
house
so,
for
you know,
2
that-
weeks.
that weird temperature that you guys don't use.
I'm in Arkansas, and it's going to be 6 tonight, and a wind chill of -20.
Jesus.
It's -8 right now here in Omaha.
It's like
Okay, well, you got me beat. But I'm in Arkansas. Come on, I'm in the South.
Wait, who's in Omaha? Is it
The wind
Byron?
chill
Okay.
-8 right now.
Holy cow.
Listen,
It's heading to Grant
minus
next,
42
so.
here, so with the wind chill. So it's pretty cold.
Grant,
Well,
I hope that's a heat
I'm
I'm
vent
just
behind
trying
you.
to give him a hard time on Rachel's streams. Yeah.
Hey, ask the doctor what his favorites for 2022.
Yeah. Before we wind this dog up, good doctor, what are your favorites for 2022?
Oh, that's kind of hard. I've discovered a lot of new stuff that I've from all the different channels and Sea of Tranquility and different stuff. Really, Woe Fat. I don't know if anybody knows who that might be. It's a hard rock band from Texas. Like, if ZZ Top maybe took a bunch of acid and decided to play kind of jam band hard rock. I can't get enough of them.
Is that the 3-piece band?
Yeah, it is. Yep, they're a
And they
3-piece.
just play music like nonstop.
Yeah, it's ridiculous to hear.
Yeah, they came to Australia just recently, I think.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, they're. I definitely want to go catch them live. They're supposed to be amazing live too. I love the new Clutch. Absolutely love it. Probably my favorite one that they've done in a few years. Yeah, exactly. Love it.
To Spotify the other day.
Honestly, I mean this it's new to me. This right here, I can't stop playing.
Well, the thing is, good doctors, that a lot of those, the thing with The Cure is you would have album tracks, but the B-sides are just as strong as the album tracks.
It's like Prince, kind of. Prince is the same one.
Prince, same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Prince, here, I'll show you guys this, if you can even see it. Ugh.
Uh-oh. What is that?
Is that a doctor?
It's like a
patient list.
No. My name comes from Parliament Funkadelic, actually. But what I was showing you are 2 work orders from Sunset Sound from Prince recording the Purple Rain record.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a diehard Prince fan, as well as Slayer, The Cure, Depeche Mode, Funkadelic, Parliament. I mean, I love music, period. So I have a wide range from Haken to, old Prince to the Time Band.
Yeah.
I cover a lot. That's why I love Grant's channel and some of the Sea and Tranquility stuff, because it's like, wow, there's other people that have a wide musical taste like me. That's really cool.
I really love early Prince a lot when he was a one-man band.
Oh, yeah.
I liked it when he was
one-man recording studio.
Yeah. Using the Linn drum, everything.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he plays proper drums on his early stuff. Like the second album's my favorite. It's got I Feel For You on it. And Bambi, which just goes off on the guitar on that.
Oh, Bambi.
I love it when he does the whole, Guitar Hero stuff.
Yeah, I went and saw Prince at Paisley Park for New Year's Eve, 1999. We drove to Minneapolis from Arkansas, me and a friend of mine, on a chance that we could get in. There was a rumor it was an invite only, and there was a rumor they were going to sell 100 tickets. So we stood out in pouring snow and waited and got in. And I'm actually it became a pay-per-view and then released on DVD. And I'm actually they come over me and my buddy, and we're just like this and with the camera. So I'm immortalized on a Prince video. So that just still gives me chill bumps when I think that I was there.
That's cool.
It's once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah, amazing.
Prince is fantastic. Yeah, I love Prince.
All right. Well, does anybody else have anything to plug real quick before
Well,
we
I just
sign
want
off?
to say something to you and Todd. I'd like to thank you for reawakening my passion for Matthew Sweet.
Oh, great.
God,
The
Todd,
whole thing that
look at
happened.
you and I are changing people's lives.
Sweet. I mean, it's just like when I came across your channel accidentally, I saw someone's reviewing the first 2 Matthew Sweet albums. Like, who cares about the 2 Matthew Sweet albums?
Todd Evans and I are
And
cutting
I thought
edge.
that was
Good question.
That's true geekdom if you're going to care about them. And I appreciate them now. Because I've had them on vinyl for God knows how long. I never even bothered with them. But they are appealing albums, aren't they? I mean, his sense of melody from the very beginning
Yeah, you could hear it from the first. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
he's good. Matthew Sweet is good.
And you inspired me to go out and get these intervention.
Oh, there you go.
I already bought
CDs.
I already bought the vinyl ones, which sound great. The thing is, I'm such an idiot. I didn't realize you actually need an SACD player to play these properly. So
aren't those dual layer?
Now. Hey?
They're not dual layer?
DSD, is that what it is? DSD?
Yeah, but isn't that's just like an performance enhanced, right?
No,
I think you can play it in a CD player.
Well,
Yeah,
it plays, but it doesn't sound even as good as the original press.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing you were talking about.
Well, that's the thing, kids. I've said this before.
Yeah, you were right.
You can't beat that original mastering of Girlfriend.
Altered Beast
on CD sounds wonderful.
So they sound better than these. So that's a real disappointment.
Did you get the signed one for Matthew Sweet? That's one I.
No, I didn't. No.
I use Sony Blu-ray players that play SACDs.
Yeah.
I picked them up at like Goodwill, for like $20 or whatever. So keep your eyes for some Sony Blu-ray players that'll play those. It's an option.
And just but does it say it plays or just it plays everything?
Mine will play everything.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of them. I got to check that out.
Yeah. Rich, did you happen to look at our Todd and I's interview with Scott Byron, the A&R rep?
Yeah, I loved them. I watched them. When I go for my morning walk, because I live a relatively carefree life. I'm caring for my dad at the moment. He's 92. So I get to go for a nice walk every morning. I have a coffee at the coffee place up the road, come back. Then I came back and used to sit and listen to those in the morning.
Yeah.
And they were great. So interesting. It's interesting. I didn't realize Matthew Sweet kind of how old was he when Inside came out? Was he like 20 or something? He looks really, really young on the cover. To get a major label.
Well, he's born in 64.
64.
Yeah.
And then what that came out in 82?
Yeah.
83?
It's so 80s. But it's interesting how Girlfriend was just shelved for like a year or something.
It was.
Imagine sitting on an album that great and thinking, is this ever going to get released?
But talking to Scott Byron, they knew it was great.
Yeah.
But there was no champion at the label. It just sat there. And he said, unless you have a champion, there was no one at A&M that was going to.
I know. I can't believe they didn't even bother.
If you don't have someone helping promote.
Yeah. But anyway, when we talk about vinyl, one of the reasons I buy vinyl is because I love nice original pressings, if I can afford them, of course. And I think they do sound better. I got this recently, always wanted it. Underwater Moonlight.
Oh, yeah. Soft Boys.
This is such a brilliant, brilliant album. One of those albums I've just played so many times. You guys heard it?
I have seen it used in the wild, but I've
not.
I'm embarrassed to say I haven't heard it.
You're an REM fan, aren't you?
Big time.
Yeah, well, REM probably owe, I don't know, half their sound to some of this album. This is like a massive influence. Peter Buck, when he was a record store clerk or whatever it was, used to rave on to customers about this album. It's a classic. There are the Cambridge rock band, heavily influenced by Syd Barrett, 60s psychedelica, jangly birdsy guitars, amazing stuff. And I had this when I was a kid, but it's bloody rare now. The Saints' first album, Brisbane punk rock. This is as legendary as the Sex Pistols.
I have never seen that like in person.
No, it is really, really rare now.
Yeah.
The
reason I got these is a friend of mine had a friend who's selling all his stuff, and I got them at reasonably good prices. But this is the most kick-ass punk rock record you'll ever hear.
What label is that on?
This is on EMI, but their original release, they released probably the most famous self-release punk single, which was I'm Stranded on their own Fatal label, and there was only 1,000 copies of that printed. And it's one of the most valuable, singles you'll find. I'm not sure. This came out on another label as well. I think Sire, maybe in America. I can't remember. This is EMI Australia. This one came out on. But yeah, these dudes are my favorite Australian rock and roll band ever. If you ever get to come across this album, stick it on and turn it up because it's punk rock heaven.
Cool.
Anyway, I gotta go. It's been a
we're winding this one up.
Yeah, I gotta run too.
Well, I want to thank all the panel for coming on tonight and having a general discussion. What a nice holiday thing.
Will Todd be on the next Matthew Sweet one?
Yeah, I'm gonna have.
Yeah.
He's gonna be on it.
Yeah, we're starting back up. We've still got a couple of really good albums to cover.
I think we're doing
In
that.
Reverse and Karma. What's its name? The Japanese one next.
Kimigasuki.
Yeah.
Do I have
Two
the right-
albums that I
Yeah.
absolutely love.
Yeah, me too.
I can't
Me too.
remember when we're doing it since I don't have my book.
It's
front
in
of me.
January.
15th of January.
Yeah, probably
it's the
January.
15th.
There's a lot coming up in January. I'm starting to book for February now, so I should have brought my book, but there's just jam-packed crap coming. It's amazing.
Oh, you've got endless possibilities, Grant.
Oh, I'm never going to run out.
Don't ever plan too much, otherwise it won't be exciting, will it? You've got to make it spontaneous.
There's
Sometimes.
so much to cover, kids.
Grant, I just checked my calendar and Matthew Sweet's not on it, so we'll have to figure out when that date
I
is.
will give you the date. I will contact you tomorrow and give you the date.
Okay.
I know it's on the calendar.
I'm ready to talk about those anytime, so it doesn't matter.
And I know something else that popped in my mind was Sisters of Mercy. I know there's a Sisters of Mercy show coming, but I don't know if I put it on the
I don't think you did.
Did we talk about that, Todd?
We did, but I don't think there was a date.
Okay, well, I'm going to talk about that with you too.
Have you rescheduled Big Star #1 record yet?
No.
Okay.
I'm writing that down too.
I'm going to have to compose myself. When
This
I do
is
that,
the other
because I
thing.
could rave about that album.
If there's something, I just want to put this out there. If there's something I don't get back to you on, please reach out to me because I can't keep track. I write it down, but there's so many ideas coming out and so many different conversations.
You got the Frank Zappa. You got to finish with BM Both.
Did we put a date on that?
No, we didn't. No,
I think you're doing a top albums of 2022.
Yeah, we do have that coming out. That's why I didn't want to reveal mine.
There's already a date for that.
Yeah.
What's the date for that?
I don't have my book in front of me like an idiot.
Because I'm on that show, so
I know we're gonna do it. I've got all my notes right here.
Did you notice my email? I said maybe it's time for a bit of XX chromosome energy. Some girl bands like the Bangles or Pretenders or Anatar or
That first Pretenders album is on my Desert Island list. I think that album's perfect.
But,
yeah, I'm all about that. Bangles, anything like that.
Yeah.
Very good.
In February, sometime.
I just love the Bangles.
Amazing how
There's
I'm
gonna
just
be a
amazed
big
how
Tom
everything's taken
Jones
on.
show coming up.
What's that?
Big Tom Jones.
We need to do a Tom Jones.
Tom Jones is a
episode.
legend.
Peter
Hey,
Jones
he
would be
was a
all over
dog
that.
lover, man.
I thought you had a Utopia show coming up and a Vandenberg show.
We
coming up,
are.
too.
Vandenberg is already on the books.
Is Utopia on the calendar?
No.
Okay.
Is
But it
Utopia
will be
reformed?
tomorrow when I talk to you. See, it's just look, Byron, you want it? Who wants it on
Oh.
Utopia?
I get in on that.
There you go.
I can do
All right,
that.
Byron.
Did you see Todd Rundgren had his guitar nicked recently, but he's got it back now?
Oh,
Which
good.
one
Did he
got
get back?
nicked?
Omi, the green one.
Oh, the greeny one.
It went missing, and that's on his on the fan page on Facebook. It's been found.
Okay, good.
Maybe the doctor has some ideas. You got anything, doctor?
Yeah, Doctor. Before we wind it up, give us some topics.
Hey,
What do
Ken.
you want to talk? What do you want to rap?
Yeah.
You want to come
Hey,
on?
Haken, but I don't like
hey.
the two new Haken songs they released. I don't.
Oh my God, you don't like the alphabet of me? Oh my God.
Maybe it's going to take a couple of listens.
Give it a
It
couple
just
more
immediately
times.
was not what I was expecting, so it kind of threw me off.
Well, I was real scared when when they changed keyboardists. I was real worried, but I think it's going to be okay.
Yeah, like I said, it was just not expect. I guess it just kind of stunned me. Like, okay, they're going to start rocking in a second, and then it just kind of.
I was slightly underwhelmed with is it Nightingale? What's the
I think
first
so.
one? Yeah,
Yeah.
And, but the alphabet of me I like.
There you go.
Good deal. Topics for me. Hey, how about does anybody like Parliament Funkadelic? Nobody ever talks about this.
I do.
I do.
Okay, there we go. There's my topic suggestion.
You didn't see our funk show.
What the hell?
We did a funk show.
We
What?
did a
When?
fun show.
Okay.
Yeah, they
Look
did.
what I
Yeah,
just
wasn't on
bought.
it,
I just bought this in Reno.
You know what? We
Ah,
can do a
Mine
funk
and your
show
ass
part
will
2.
follow.
There
could
we
do
go.
a funk show.
I'm about that for sure.
All right, I'm
And I'll
writing
go
that
check the
down.
first one y'all did then. Oh yeah, nice.
I'm writing
I think
that down.
The first two Hakens are my favorite. I don't like them as much as I like their first two, to be honest with you.
Affinities turned out to be my favorite.
Yeah. Maybe it's because I've heard the first two the most. You know how that goes.
Could be.
The first ones are usually your favorites.
I think what I'm going to do is wrap this one up, and I think I'm going to play the whole Christmas music section on the way out and let it play, and just, for people that didn't get to hear it.
I better go now anyway. Have
Right.
a great Christmas,
Brian,
guys.
Brian's on the funk. All right, Brian,
Hi,
I got you.
Richard, it was nice to meet
Have
you.
a good Christmas.
Yeah, you too. Look forward to another podcast with you.
Yeah,
See you
Dr.
later.
Funkenstein, nice to meet you too.
Yeah,
All right,
great to
boy.
meet you guys, and thanks, Grant. It's awesome that
was
I'm
fun.
on here with you guys. Wow, how fun!
It's all about
It's a
all about the
free-for-all.
music. It's all about the
You
music.
bet. Love it,
All
guys. Thanks.
Good night,
All right,
everybody.
guys.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Good night.